Texas.
Back it up, back it up. Back it up. Claims are worth nothing if you can't back it up. Back it up. Step to the mic, to the mic, to the mic. Make your claim. But understand something real quick. Okay, then. Around here, words don't mean shit.
Back it up, back it up, back it up. Talk heavy, better stack it up. Receipts, clips, facts on deck. Don't dance around, best come direct. Yeah, welcome to Back It Up, where the mouth gets checked. Every claim on trial, every word gets pressed. You can say whatever, free speech intact, but don't cry when we ask you to prove your facts. You think Trump was Elvis? Cool, show the tape. You think history's fake? To demonstrate, you think the earth's flat? I bet you can back it up. When falsified to death, it's time to wrap it up. Not whispers, not rumors, not telegram threads, not a guy I know, or the voices in your head. Bring timestamps, documents, video proof, or we'll dismantle the lie right in front of you. Back it up, back it up, back it up. If it's real, you ain't scared to back it up. If it folds when we ask how you know, oh, that's when silence says enough. Back it up, back it up, back it up. Truth don't flinch, lies are up. Say it proud, then stand on it. Or watch us tear it the fuck up. We don't cancel, we examine. We don't scream, we demand it. Evidence over theatrics.
Okay.
Data over dramatics. No sacred cows, no free passes. Every claim gets weighed in masses. If it's real, it'll hold its shape. If it's fake, it shatters. So roll the tape. Yeah. Back it up, back it up, back it up.
Back it up, baby. Jared and my boy Landry gonna be anything.
Back it up, back it up, back it up. Back it up, back it up. Back it up,
Back it up, back it up, back it up.
hey.
Only thing, can you really back it up, back it up, back it up? Only thing, can you really bring it up, back it up, back it up?
Back it up, back it up, back it up.
It's Thursday. And that means it's time for the best 15 seconds on the internet, not counting my OnlyFans. All right, welcome to the show, everybody. I'm fixing a couple sound issues that we're having here. Thanks to the TikToks. You know about the TikToks. All right, there we go. Welcome, everybody. It's time for Back It Up. It is Thursday. And that means that it's time for another episode. We've got myself and Landry here, episode 4. We are still looking for evidence and to your claims, and we've kind of realized that this has caused a halt in the program, in the schedule, because people don't want to come up because they don't want to back up their claims. So amazing how that works. Let's go to Landry right now, see how he's doing. Landry, welcome to the Blow State. Is that what that says?
It does say Blow State. Yes, it does.
I like it. I like
Blow
it a lot.
Thank you.
Very well. And we got the chat on the screen. Nice. I see Snake Turbanhead here. Nice to see you. We've got Sour Pounder. That's an interesting name. Welcome.
They haven't called me that in a long time.
No, not since back in the day.
It's been a hot minute.
Very good. We have nobody in the back room yet. If you want to join the show, you'll see at the top of the screen. You go to tiny.cc/backitup and you get on the panel. If you want to tip, you can go to tiny.cc and you can /tip it up, or you can send a super chat. If you send a $9 or $10 super chat, or $9.99 or $10, you get to ring the dong, which has only happened, I believe, once in the history of the show. So maybe it'll happen today. We don't know. We don't know. How's the sound? Can I get a 5 by somebody, please?
Sound good to me. Obviously, I'm not,
You don't count.
hearing from the mainframe, but
You don't count.
what is it? What is it about these sorts of people, do you think, that makes it to where they just don't ever look for evidence?
It's easier when you don't.
I mean, because there's this guy I hang out with now. I mean, he was a man on the street interview, and now I spend a couple days a week hanging out with him. And if I questioned him, I would probably end our friendship, whatever you want to call it, immediately. So I just let him roll. Let him. Trump's Elvis. I think the new one was. I mean, there's a ton of people that are still alive. A lot of stuff, but I mean, he's in this mindset to where if you question him, it's game over because then you're the adversary.
Of course. Jimmy Madison in the house is glad to be here. Glad you're doing well. Hey, look at that. We've got a $2.37 super chat. Salute, Jaron and Landry. Back that ass up. I believe it's back it up. I might have confused you by
No, we changed it. We changed it.
We're gonna have to change it next week.
We're doing so poorly. We had to figure out something. So now it's back that ass up.
Okay, that's next week. It's interesting. It's gonna get more and more risque until we get people watching. So yes, that's the way it goes.
Damn! Flat Earth can't play tonight. It appears they have lost their balls.
Oh, imagine that. Imagine that. Was that too loud? Did that blare out everybody? Did that blow out your eardrums? I need to know that. I don't know. Blow out mine. That's all that matters. All right, we are going to let's see here if we've got. Yes. Okay. So you can join us if you'd like. If not, you're just going to get to hear Landry and I speak all night. Or you know what? I'm going to play a quick song for you guys. Just while
we
we
see the other super chat you just got.
No. Where's the another one? The salute to Jaron and Landry. Back that ass up.
No.
Did we get another one?
Oh wait, that is what he said. Okay, NPC said that. Never mind. I'm tripping.
That's it. I need a new co-host. If anybody wants to co-host.
Hey, Gabe, get up here. You can be the next co-host.
Dave Weiss?
No, Gabe. Sorry.
Oh,
NPC.
Gabe. Jesus. I was going to say no. Dave Weiss is not allowed on the show ever again. Yes. So real quick, just a quick song to kind of poke fun at the TikTokers who are I thought that it would be impossible to make flat Earth YouTubers look any better. You can. You just go to TikTok and you realize that the flat Earth YouTubers are even better than the snot-nosed, attention deficit disorder, hopped up on, I don't know what, energy drinks, you think? I think some of those people on TikTok have 6 Red Bulls a day.
I can't tell you the last time I don't even know if I've ever sort of do you just go and scroll? Do you have like an algorithm where it kind of knows what you want to see?
I know. I don't. I hate TikTok.
Because you don't use it. You
I
just
post
sort of
my
pop
stuff
in.
and I go live there. That's about it. But then you hear all these people acting like crazy nutcases. And let me see. We'll bring this on for you. This is just a real quick fun song about the Garbage Pail Kids over there. And we'll be right back. And then we'll see if anybody wants to join the show, or else you can listen to Landry and I listen to this song 16 times. We'll be right back.
They stink, they smell, and they cannot spell. The kings of the dumpster fire straight out of hell. Reality rejects don't care about truth. They are fearful of facts. They're allergic to proof. TikTok's worse. Kids with noses full of snot. Confidence is high, but their IQ's not. Short attention spans. They can't finish a thought. For clip-on and truthers, truth matters now. They don't want truth, or they wouldn't tell lies. Like you can't tell the ground from looking up in the sky. No map, no model, just vibes and memes. Move the sun or ignore it on the garbage pail team. Garbage pail, talking big, thinking small. Garbage pail, bouncing brains against the wall. Garbage pail, TikTok, look what you did. From mom's basement to our screens, it's the Garbage Pail Kids. Garbage pail, think they can't be wrong. Garbage pail, cocked and strong. Garbage pail, toddlers like angels are shite, and his big dirt daddy getting dirty all night. Garbage pail, thinks planes nose down. Garbage pail, say we don't spin around. Garbage pail, keep on lying to kids. Yes, this is the Garbage Pail Kids. And they stink.
So true. So true. Facts have never been spoken that are that true.
What did
They
you
still-
type in to get those animations?
Which animations?
Like the guy in the straight jacket.
No, those are all from Envato Elements.
Oh, it's just a different.
It's
Okay.
No, it's just an account that you can go to that has all kinds of, type in anything you can
know
get.
a ton of crazy websites, extensions.
Why
You're
are you
like,
frozen?
Am I frozen?
That or
Do I-
you're
do I look-
sitting. You might be
Do I-
sitting
do I
really.
look handsome?
No.
Okay.
Okay, you're
Alright,
better.
it's-
That's
okay,
weird. Why did that happen? that was really crazy. Let's see who's in the chat. Does anybody want to come up? Does nobody have any claims to make at all? That is embarrassing. We're gonna have to make a new show. It's gonna have to be Back That Ass Up,
Well,
where we invite LaQuanda and LaQuisha up here, and they should, have a battle to see who can back it up better. I'm looking forward to that. I am
is that
looking forward to that.
LaQuisha from the Alex Stein video from back in the day, where he was in the Black
one?
Barbecue?
Wait, which one? Oh, I forgot about that one.
She had like 9 kids.
Dude, you remember his intro?
LaQuisha,
Remember his intro was the my nigga, my nigga, my nigga. It was the greatest intro ever made, dude.
I don't remember that.
You do remember? You don't remember it?
No, I don't.
His
You should
intro?
find it.
I should find it. I don't know how I could find it though. God, where would that be? I haven't seen that in forever. I don't know.
He might have done like a wipe
channel.
when he got famous.
He might have done that. He probably did. He's probably smart. Probably smart. Alex Stein, the actor, of course. Here comes all the conspiracy theories. Alex Stein, the actor. What do you mean? Because he's on a show, he's acting. So dumb. Really is embarrassing. Like, let me tell you about. Let's talk about stupid beliefs I used to have. All right. Let me have it. So, did you ever believe that Project Fishbowl or Operation Fishbowl, that they were trying to launch nukes to break the dome?
Yes.
Right. So if you think about
Because
that,
of you.
but if you think about that, like there's supposed to be water above and water below, and so if they were trying to do that, then they were trying to kill all of humanity, which doesn't seem like they were.
Past him.
I would think that's a little bit of a. If they were like, you know what we should do? We should break that dome so all the water pours in here and floods us all. Let's go. Let's try it. I really don't think that's what they were doing. I really don't. So there's like all these beliefs that we had that don't even make sense. They don't even make sense. Like how would, or like people who say like, I don't know. They went to the moon. They got it right on the first try when they actually had like Apollo 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, like sending crafts around the moon, sending crafts to kind of, semi land, but not land. And it's like, they just went the first time and got it all right. It's like, well, that would be a little bit strange, but not when they have practice. Jaron, if No Man's coming up, what's your nomination for top left? That's a tough one, man. I think I think Flat Earth should be top left, to be honest with you.
What is top left?
I don't really get it, but it means like who is the dumbest flat earther for the year. I think I might have. No, I didn't win it one year. I won Dumb Fuck of the Year. I remember that. That was courtesy of Red's Rhetoric. Ledwell should be up there. Flatzoid and those guys are just. I mean, they cannot be more wrong and what do you call it? Hypocritical. Hey, we got somebody. Look at that. Look at that. I've got the clock ready to go. When you want to bring them on, let me. You know what screen to go to? Oh, look at you already ready to go.
Oh wait, so is it this one or this one? It's this one, right?
That one, yes. And it might take me a second to get them on, but we will get them on shortly. We'll put this screen on.
Do I have to mute? Hold on a second.
Yeah, mute the YouTube if you could. And we
Okay.
have to remove this thumbnail and get you up there. We'll be right with you. Go ahead.
There we go. There we go. Can you hear me now?
Yep.
There we go. Okay, cool. What's up, Jaron?
How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Just trying to get you on the screen. Give me a second, but you can go ahead and start. You're getting free time right now. I'm not even starting the clock.
Oh man, it's awesome.
Yes, great. What's up with you?
Nothing much, man. You didn't have anybody up, so I was like, let me just come in.
All right.
Okay, baby. Okay.
All right. Look at that. We got
I
kids
just
on
thought
the
I'd
show.
come up and see how you were doing.
Doing
Somebody
well as
tried to
can be
jump.
expected.
Hmm.
Trying to get you on the screen, but I'll be 1 second. I don't know why we lost that view. How about you? What have you been up to?
Life.
Okay.
Debunking flat Earth. Every
Oh,
other
the easy stuff.
time I get. Yeah.
It really is easy. It's kind of embarrassing because the easier I notice that it is, the more I realize how dumb I was the whole time. Which is
Yeah. I recently I tried to have a debate with this guy named QOP.
oh, I know.
And
Yes.
I had like an entire presentation set up, but we couldn't get past the first freaking picture.
What was the first
Like,
picture?
The first picture was remember when there was that video of the 24-hour sun, but it was looped,
Yep.
and it was like the same clouds in the beginning and the end.
Right.
So I was showing that was that was part of the presentation, but I was going to explain to him why that was the way it was, but we couldn't get past the first picture because he for some reason he claimed that me showing that was a debunk of the globe, and automatically just claimed that no, but this is well, you're showing that it's fake. I'm like, no, let me go through my presentation and explain to you why this is the way it is. But no, we couldn't. He wouldn't. He gave me the Oakley treatment and kept muting me, and that's where that ended.
Yeah, I got some of the same kind of treatment over on the TikToks over there. A lot of good quality people over there. They do like little setups. Their whole thing is they got to get you in a gotcha, right? Like that's their idea of winning a debate. If they can get you in one gotcha, then the Earth is flat, which makes a lot of sense.
Right. Right. I've been watching Blitz. You know Blitz?
Yeah, I've been watching him too.
Yeah, I've been watching him for the past. He's pretty good.
Yeah.
What I like about him is that he holds them to the fire, holds their feet to the fire. Like, no, we're not moving on until we explain this right here.
Acknowledge that you're wrong or whatever needs to be done. There goes the clock. Just making sure. All right, your clock has started. You got 5 minutes. Or unless somebody wants to get rid of you, they could do that for $10 by sending a super chat. But probably should save that for somebody that we want to get rid of. How's your girl there? What's she about? 6?
She is 6.
How about my guess?
Now she wants,
very good.
She wasn't bothering me, but as soon as I got on, now she wants to come.
It's always the way it works.
Yeah.
Now, is that a real view behind you, or is that a green screen?
No, this is green. Now, this is just, I guess, StreamYard allows you to add pictures, but this is actually a picture that I took in Hawaii.
Oh, nice. I think that StreamYard did change. It looked different today for some reason. There's like new options in there. I didn't take a look at them, but
so what's cool about this picture is that I'm not sure if you can see like the bottom
is
left
covered
over here.
Oh,
this picture, this building right here, you probably can't see it, but it's a 15-story building, and you can only see about 5 or 6 stories of it.
And where'd you take that from? From another island?
No. So if you look at Hawaii, like Oahu in particular, and you there's a place called Barber's Point on it's like the southern shore of the island, and there's a place called Barber's Point. And if you go there and you look over towards Waikiki, this is what you see. All of the buildings are cut off, and not only that, there's an entire run, like the Honolulu airport is literally right in the line of sight, and you can't see it.
Do you see planes come and land there?
Yes,
that'd
you
be
do.
nice.
I have a video showing that also.
And they land underground. Pretty incredible.
Yes, they land under the water. And actually, the video I took was it's actually taken off. It just comes out of the water.
Yeah, that's the same thing happens really if you take video of the Oakland airport from San Francisco side of the bay. I've seen videos of it, and the planes land looks like in the water. They're just going below that, and that's not even that far of a distance. I don't know offhand what the distance is.
This is 15 miles. Yeah.
I know Caleb sent me an observation yesterday that I don't know if these guys think that they're globe killers or something, but then I just went and did it and brought up the right curve calculator. I used the Metabunk one so that it includes refraction and got exactly what. And then another thing I've learned from Ruhif is to measure the angle. So for instance, this particular observation was behind the sun was behind a mountain, kind of like Canigoo and those ones when the sun sets behind it and it kind of backlights that mountain.
Right.
But from that, you can know that the sun is a half degree. So I was able to draw what a half degree looked like, and then you kind of realize that it was only looking at the very little top of the mountains. So what those guys see is they see a mountain, it looks like it's a whole set of mountains, and so they're like, we see the whole thing. But just by looking at the actual half a degree, you can realize that it's just the tippy top of the mountain that you're seeing, which is exactly what the math calls for.
Right. What's also crazy is that they'll deny refraction, right? But then when you show them stuff that's obstructed, they claim it's some sort of refraction that's making it do that.
Yeah, it's crazy. I saw a post the other day that somebody said, Globers are wrong because look at this. It shows that you can't use standard refraction over water. And it's like, yeah, but it means because there'll be more. Not they think it goes the other way.
In the opposite direction.
It's like,
no,
it doesn't go that way. So they think that it means that, oh, no, you can't use it because over water, no, it's just because they're saying standard refraction is about 10%. And over water, it might be more.
Right. So, it's bending down. It makes the they think light bending down means that it's going to make it obstructed for some reason.
Yeah.
But the one question I'm sorry, go ahead.
Go ahead. You only got a minute left.
The one question I always love to ask is that if the surface of the water was curved, what would it look like?
Right.
You never really get an answer. I never get an answer for that.
No, or even the one where they say, well, how come we don't see water curve? And then you try and explain, well, is there an Earth that's so big that water doesn't really curve unless you zoom out and see the whole planet as a one piece? But they don't want to look at it that way either. And they just are not going to take, they're not going to admit that they're wrong. That's all. It just comes down to that. At this point, you've had your chance. I don't think anybody's going to bail at this point. Although you saw that guy Dirt Cuz jump ship.
Who is that?
And his name's,
where's he from?
From TikTok. His name's Dirt Cuz, but I know he's been a flat earther for quite a few years. But he kept doing these observations in Hawaii, by the way. And he was, I don't remember which island he was observing, but it's like 85 miles away or whatever.
Is that the one from Oahu to Maui? I think I might have seen
I think
that.
Bob the Science Guy did a video on him.
Yeah. I'm not too fond. I don't really know many flat earthers on TikTok. I know a few.
Yeah, me neither really. But he finished his video with it's a sphere or it's a globe. Deal with it. And then he.
I heard that. Yep.
Yeah, and then he got turned on by everybody, and it's crazy. There's a girl there that maybe I don't know what it was, 5 months ago, 6 months ago. She's on TikTok and she reached out to me and said, "Hey, I'm on the fence because of the trip and everything. Will you come on my channel and talk to me about it and answer some questions from people?" I said, "Sure." So I went on her channel, answered some questions for an hour or two, and then left. Well, I didn't know this until recently that after that she got chased off TikTok because what those guys did with like gang stalker, they all accused her of being a shill, that she was working with me. How dare she bring me on her show? And then they started mass reporting her channel and just to the point where she had to quit TikTok. So I'm like, man, these guys are literally a gang or literally a cult. I mean, and she, I actually could read her message if I can find it. She actually wrote me a message that was really indicative of exactly, it's like, okay, good. If those TikTok people think that's smart to do that, they're just going to drive more and more people away, which is what they did with her. They drove her away. And that's basically what she said. She just said a little something. She said something a little bit like that. I don't remember exactly the words, but I'll maybe find it. But it was just a good message to know that, okay, there are people out there that are seeing. So it wasn't my trip, or it wasn't the final experiment, or it wasn't something else that got this person away from flat Earth. It was flat earthers themselves.
Right.
So because of how they acted, it was like, oh, wow, that's so maybe some more of that will happen if they think that gang stalking people is going to keep the Earth flat. It's not true. Hey, $6.70, I believe. Jaron, who's your top left? Who's the most confidently wrong about the flat Earth in your opinion? So is it not supposed to be a liar? Can it be a liar? Or is it mostly supposed to be an idiot? Somebody who like really believes it, but I don't really understand. What does top left come from? Do you know what Earth is life? What
top left is MC Toon, and I think
but why is it called that?
Because there's a what's it called? So top left, the Dunning-Kruger scale.
If you're on the top I don't know left, about that. Okay, that's what I don't know about.
Yeah.
I did not know that was a thing. So there's a Dunning-Kruger scale, and the top left would be the person who thinks they're the most confidently wrong.
Exactly.
You had to go with Vlad, right?
He's pretty close.
I think he's got to be up there.
He's pretty close.
Yeah, he's definitely questionable. And because he just makes so many statements that he thinks are so right. I saw him talking about Kiribati the other day, and just so out of touch. Hey!
Oh,
you're gone.
Is my time up?
That means the dong has been wrong.
All right. Hey, Jaron, appreciate you letting me come on, man.
Peace. So it says, God spoke, then sound created light. Light only materialized if it matters. Earth is the greatest story ever told. Sea level. Thank you for, who is that? Healthy and something? Derek the Dullard. Super chatted $2.68. Thank you very much. Big up, Jaron. Happy to see you thriving. Hey, I appreciate that. I do appreciate that. Happy to see you noticing me thriving. Landry, what are you working on over there?
Always willing to get in when I fit in, and I sometimes think but I do want to put a good shout out, right? Oh,
hey, $20 from the Obsessed Patriot. By the way, I saw you last week super chat. You got me into flat Earth. Damn it, F you. You got me out. Thank you. That's the best super chat ever.
It's true, dude.
You're welcome.
A lot of people in.
Is that how you make money? I'm going to get people into faulty beliefs and then get them out. Let's start that trend next week. We'll come up with a crazy belief. Everyone will believe us, and then we'll tell them the next week that we're wrong, and then people will support us. What do you think?
We already started, didn't we?
I guess.
I wanted for top left. I wanted to put in my position as me in the year 2021 is most suited for that position of top left.
I don't think you could have beat me.
I don't know. I was pretty confident, and I didn't have I didn't even have an argument. I was just.
All right.
All
I
about
don't know how I can find this. I don't know how to search things on the Instagrams. I'll give it one more second, and then you're just not going to get to hear it. That's too bad. There is. I'm scrolling through this, but I don't see anything now. Anyway, I don't know where to find it. Does it have the dates on here or anything? No, that's not it. Okay, maybe this is it here. All right. So this is the person that got removed from, or had to get kicked out of TikTok because the TikTokers there are garbage pail kids. And what I mean by that is they're just garbage. They're just garbage humans. They don't care about the truth at all. And that comes, let's say there's a debate where their guy lies 10 times and then they catch you in one thing, then they'll all post videos of that one thing. Of course, not caring that their own person lied many times over. So that's a problem. Yeah, I don't know. Did I send somebody else that message? I thought I sent somebody else that message, but I can't find it now. Oh wait, this is it. I think. No. It was just well written. It was short too, and I just can't see it.
What's the psychology behind? I really want to know why people do this. Like, because it's everywhere. Everywhere there's a group, there is a ton of people. Just it doesn't matter what's being said. It's just who their person is.
Yeah, it's all about teams. It's like a tribal mentality, because I think that the way that people must look at it is and I've always been on my own, right? I don't have a team. I don't have a tribe. Whereas I've just always seen it that way. So I guess when you do pick that team, then you stop being objective, right? And I can see this if this happened for me, right? Like if you're on Dave Weiss's team, you kind of just he said that wrong. Okay, and maybe that's kind of made up, but again, we get his point. You just kind of allow things to go when you shouldn't, right? You should really be, if you're a truther, why would you ever let any lie go? Right? I mean, that's the thing. You're a truther. You should be about telling the truth. I don't see it in here anymore. Anyway, I am not going to keep looking. So, okay, don't find it. See, I have this OCD problem that once I start looking for something, I'm not.
Dude, I've known you for how many years now? I know.
I have that problem. You had to edit my videos. You probably like.
I do, dude. Yeah, but this is what I was editing out right here.
Okay. I see it from here. Go back.
Oh wait, no.
Oh yeah, it's got to be right here. It's got to be right here. It's got to be here. It's got to be right here. Okay,
it's over here. Right on the corner.
Oh wait, does it say please not?
Oh, there it is.
Oh, this person. Oh wait, no, it's not there.
What is this?
You tell me.
Mount Meru. What is that clip?
Mount Meru.
It's got Dave Weiss, isn't it? No.
What are you talking about, Mount Meru though?
You have a little 30-second clip in your StreamYard. It says Mount Meru.
30-second clip in my StreamYard. I don't know. Probably something from Flat Earth Days.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, I don't see. Wait, maybe this one is? No. All right, well, I can't find it. Anyway, what she basically said was that she is never going to be a flat earther again because she realizes the type of people that are in the flat earth and what they are willing to do to keep what they call truth out there, which is basically gang stalk people, to go after them, to send people after them. I guess they do this thing. And so, by the way, everybody who's been messaging me on TikTok, after I did my live, they banned me from being in messages for 5 days because it said bowling. Like, bowling, what are they talking about? And the only thing I could think of is that people were messaging me and they would say, like, nice job, sellout, or, how much are they paying you? Something like that. And then I would go off at them. And I think then they would report my message. And I was getting banned because my messages were not very nice. So maybe I have to learn to be nicer back, I guess. I don't know.
It's like enough people, right? I mean, I wonder how many it needs to be for it to flag it.
Maybe 10 or something. I don't know.
So you get 10 different people doing that? That's crazy. I couldn't get 10. I couldn't get 5 people to do anything.
I don't think I could either, but I think that they can get people to do that if they want. Yeah, I don't see it. All right. Well, oh well. One day I'll see that message again. So, she did say, I'm a big catalyst. You were a big catalyst in my turning back to the globe. Your courage made it easier. You were kind of like a guiding light, standing firm in the face of adversity. being 100% authentic in your convictions and not cowering away. So that's close. We're getting close to where she said this here because it was right after that conversation. And are we gonna get to read her stuff?
Jaron, do you believe in evolution yet?
I think that there's some parts of it that I think make sense. Here's my problem with evolution, is that I don't think you can. If I asked you this, how long would it take until current monkeys, are building jet aircraft and flying them around the world?
Current monkeys?
Yep.
I mean, it would be possible to scale.
I mean, how long? And here's the other thing. By the way, we're teaching monkeys things, right? So humans are teaching monkeys sign language. They're teaching monkeys stuff like that. So even if we're teaching them to build airplanes and then we teach them how to fly them, how long will that take?
That's a good question. But we do have.
To me, it's like outrageously time. The time is outrageous, like not even fathomable. The other thing is the idea of, thank you very much for $2, says Shakespeare's theater was called the Globe. Hey, how about that? Dad jokes in the house. Oh shoot, what were we just talking about? I was about to say something.
Who are we coping, or what are we coping? Are we still coping?
Coping with what?
It says RM.
I don't know what that means.
Our guest, our silent guest.
Oh, bring RM on. We can start the clock.
What's up, RM?
RM. Did you bring him on?
Jaron, what's up, man?
What's up? What's going on?
It's Ryan. I just wanted to jump in and say, hey, what's going on? And I didn't really have too much to argue about or anything. I just wanted to call in and just wanted to thank you again, for just fighting it out. And I know you've been dealing with a lot of blowback since coming back and stuff. And I know you and I were just texting on Telegram the other day. But yeah, I just wanted to check in and see what's going on. How's everything going?
Well, thank you. It's going as well as can be expected, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, if I can take it. That's the thing, is it's not a problem. I think it does show these people for who they're going to be and who they are. But
for sure.
Oh, so here it is. I finally found it. So I said, have you really turned away from Flat Earth completely? I would love to hear where you're currently at. And she said, yeah, I'm done with Flat Earth. I feel kind of stupid. Like, how did I ever get sucked in? I feel like the community is really damaging and toxic. I haven't made a public declaration or anything because I'm scared of being attacked again. That kind of low-key traumatized me. That was just for associating with you. That was crazy to me. They made up lies, tried to get my post taken down, called me a shill, a hypocrite, and a liar. They mass unfollowed me, and then they crashed and reported all my lives to where I had to quit. I could never go back to Flat Earth because I know I'm living on a globe. Just common sense, really, once you follow the evidence, which Flat Earth consists mostly of memes and no proof. It's like a cult, really, to be honest. So to see people starting to make statements like that have been in Flat Earth, that was a host that did a bunch of lives almost every day, and is no longer even associated with it. So I think more people need to hear that, and it might get them out of there. Thank you very much for the $2 from Rockefeller versus Rothschilds.
Sorry about that. I think I lost my service.
Oh, welcome back. I say the Rothschilds. Go ahead, though. You are back. You have anything else you want to say? Are you there? RM must not have good service. RM,
you're going to make us really mad. See if you we hear me. How's that possible?
Let's remove that for now. That's not working. All right, we're back. We're back. Let's see what's going on in the chat. Flat Days wins every dumbass. What? No contest needed. I don't know what that person said. I gotta look over here. Flat Dave wins every dumbass award. I agree. It's pretty bad. He's just making up. Do you know he had an interview the other day with a girl who he was telling to ask her AI companion questions. The first one he asked was, can you ask your AI if there's other lands in the world that we don't know about? So she's like, Seth, is there other lands that we don't know about? And he's like, yes, there's tons of lands that we don't know about. The world that you live in is actually an enclosed structure with a dome. I'm like, oh my God. And then he's like,
wait, hold on. Did it really say? I want to see what mine says. It's so interesting.
Yeah, I don't know. People can now program their own AI to do whatever they want. So,
is there extra lands that we have not discovered that they might call outer space?
Did you ask your AI that?
I just did, yeah.
Let me hear.
All right, we got to wait till the I told mine to take a long time to respond to me because what it does is when it's on quick mode, it just shits something out. So that's my only thing. I'm like, be detailed and don't rush it because I'd rather you're right. Okay, so let's see who we got here in the back.
RM again.
RM is back.
His
All
clock's been running. Let's go.
What's up, RM?
Let's do it.
Yeah, sorry about that, man.
No problem.
But yeah, so you were saying about that girl that was she's afraid to come out and say that she's left the flat Earth. That's just messed up, man.
Yeah, totally. Yeah, she's left, and I think people know that are on TikTok because obviously she's not doing lives anymore. But she just hasn't made a statement about it. Thank you very much. Healthy and safe. External forces must be exerted onto water to manipulate water. Yes, exactly.
Right.
I don't know if that's supposed to be anti-flat Earth. I can't tell who's really pro or against anymore.
Right.
We do see Benny Boy Truth in the house. Stacy from We Are Energy truly believes was that Sage is somehow sentient. Wait, is that the girl that Dave was talking to? Sage, that sounds right. Is that who it was, Benny? It's so crazy that person thinks that they're like, guys, let me tell you another story I've heard recently. I've heard that couples are breaking up, that relationships are ending, marriages are ending because one of the people is going to ChatGPT, you psychopaths. That is not it's meant to kind of build you up. It's meant to be on your side. So if you have a problem in your marriage and you go to ChatGPT and you're like, hey, I'm not happy. My husband makes me sad and he does this, this, and this. And should I leave? It's going to be like, well, sometimes you got to do what's best for you and you got to, put yourself first. And then the person leaves their husband because ChatGPT said so. Get your head on straight, people, please.
The last thing you should be doing.
Wow, crazy. That's Benny. That's crazy. Yeah, she made like her own AI that's called Sage, and she like asks it questions, and Dave's like there, like, can you ask it this? Can you ask it that? Like they actually think they're talking to something. It's so ridiculous.
Oh my gosh, man.
We Are All Energy is her name. We Are All Energy is her name. That's a great name.
So mine says no.
There is no extra lines, right?
I definitely don't put it past Dave though.
No, it's yeah. He's definitely a piece of work for sure.
That's crazy.
Hey, another $10 from Healthy and Safe. I went on my third surveying company to ask how they accounted for curvature.
And then I know it's on you.
Say again?
Yeah.
All right, have a good one.
No, I was going to say also, I was telling you about that. I was telling you about that Iron Horse debate as well.
Oh, God. That was so bad.
Yeah.
So bad. All right, thank you much. Appreciate it. I'm going to kick him because his sounds bad. Wait a second on Tony. Just because I want to read this chat. Thank you very much for Dave's Waffle House. Oh, Dave's Waffle House is here. Can I get there fast enough? I can't. I got to get there. Where's the W's? Son of a buck.
From the Waffle House, located just off the Beltway.
There you go, Dave. Yeah, happy super chat for 268. I appreciate it. Top man, big respect. Appreciate that a lot. So somebody in the chat was saying something I needed to respond to, but I don't remember what it was. Yeah, she lives across the water from me. Interesting. She's on all the socials. What did I think I read? External forces. Oh, so this guy that keeps doing the super chats, Healthy and Safe, who I think is a flat earther. He says, I went to my third surveying company to ask how they accounted for curvature. So you can just tell that you're not being honest there. Okay, because the first surveying company would have told you about it, and the second one would have told you about it. So to pretend that you went to two and they were just like, we don't know, we have no idea, man. We just measure things and we don't even have any idea. That would be ridiculous. So you're lying when you say, I went to my third surveying company to ask how they accounted for curvature. Secret Royal Society, hidden telecommunication networks, connecting kings of the earth. No, it's just math. Do you understand? If you're doing local observations, because I've told you already that the earth is very large, so locally it's flat. So when they are doing surveying, they're taking their measurements and it's a flat where they're at. They're not measuring very far. So they have to then, if they put them all together and they don't account for curvature, then there's going to be discrepancies. So they have to add the curvature in after. Again, it doesn't mean anything. It's just like these NASA manuals that say treat the earth as flat and stationary. It doesn't mean that the earth is flat and stationary. It means you may treat it as flat and stationary. That's why the manuals say that. Why would they tell you treat the earth as if it's spinning in a globe if you don't need to do that to fly the plane? Wouldn't it be better to tell the truth and say treat the earth as it's flat and stationary? I believe so. I believe so. See who else we got.
Do we let Tony up now?
Yeah, let Tony up.
Tony, what's up?
Tony, welcome. We'll start your clock as you enter and tell us about the. We're on the inside of a ball. We have a problem with the curvature. We can't find any curvature anyway. But it's okay to be an inside the ball person. Oh, I thought that was to get rid of Tony. That would have been great. What does it say? Everyone alive has one time held hundreds of false beliefs. The trick is spotting it. What's your current perspective on identifying which beliefs need to be inspected? All of them. My current position is that all beliefs need to be inspected or to be looked at occasionally and to never stand firm in any belief. There's no reason to. You don't get points for being on a team, right? Like, you're not going to get to heaven and God's like, you were a globe earther for 14 years. You just missed it by one. That's not going to happen. So you want to constantly question what you believe and leave your mind open to other possibilities and always be open to evidence. Because it's so easy for me to tell people when they're like talking flat earth, I just say, listen, I will be a flat earther tomorrow. I will be a flat earther tomorrow if you simply provide the evidence, provide the way that the sun works in the south. You can't. 1 billion people see it every day, and they all say the sun does what the globe earth calls for. Not one person says, oh, the earth does what the flat earth calls for. Not one. So you're 0 for 1 billion, yet you still think you're right. Isn't that weird? You'd rather believe Dave Weiss than 1 billion people. Let me just tell you, that's not going to go well for you. It's not. All right, let's bring on Tony. I'll reset the clock since I talked through it.
Tony.
What's up?
How you going, guys?
Oh, hang on. All right. Never mind. You say hang on?
Can you hear me all right?
Yeah, we hear you great.
Yeah, I agree totally. Let's just believe what we can see for a start. To me, I've been doing...
I'm not going to get mad, but that's supposed to be used to kick people off the show. That's why the sound is there. It's supposed to be funny, and then we get rid of Tony, but you're just saying a bunch of stuff. Like, Mark R. Epstein created an artificial ionosphere for telecom at MIT, Secret Royal Society, horizontal plane in a torus field, artillery and navigation require a horizontal plane by. I mean, that's just wrong. It's just false. So, don't know what you mean by that. What do you mean navigation require a horizontal plane? Are you talking about a tangent? Please go look up the word tangent. Please, for the love of God, stop saying ridiculous things. All right, Tony, you're on. You're ready to go. I have not put in my top left nomination, but I need to think about it.
I'll start off with just showing you, if you can see my little logo there, that orange circle.
Okay.
Yeah, that's a photograph I took. That is just before sunrise, taking a photograph of a mountain in Australia called Bluff Knoll from the top of a mountain called Mount Franklin. That's 175 kilometers away.
Okay.
NASA's using that picture for NASA now.
Well, that's my picture.
No, they're using
Anyway, put that to one side. But I have been doing, what I'm trying to say is I have been doing research and I'd like to know what the truth is. But I'd like someone to explain to me where the initial measurements came from to tell us how far away the sun and the moon is. Can you tell me where the mathematical calculations start? What was the first body measured?
I believe they did the transit of Venus across the sun. So
what does that prove?
Well, because if you can tell that it goes in front of the sun, so you know that you're between you and the sun, and then they calculated the size. But this is where the story is fantastical, that they say they guessed that Venus was the same size as Earth.
Can you please tell me where is the initial measurement? Where did it come from?
They called the sun distance 1 AU.
Why?
Because it allowed them to build everything around that. If once you know, you can call.
So it's all based on an assumption that cannot be proved.
Well, now they can be proven. Not you asked for the
How?
first. Many ways. I mean, so if you don't believe that there is space, then it doesn't matter to you. right?
No, there's definitely a lot of space between you and me for a start.
Yes, because I mean,
Where
so you have a problem with the globe because why? Because you don't see curvature.
I have many problems with it. I'd like to be shown. I have done measurements. Okay, I've done measurements from one side of Australia to the other, and triangulation doesn't suggest that the sun is that far away. Can you please tell me where you got your measurement?
Wait. So are you saying that it measured out to the flat Earth measurements? Because that's not true.
No, my measurements, just triangulation from one side of Australia to the other, verifying where the sun is at noon, a baseline and two intersecting lines to the sun suggests to me that the sun would be about 3,000 miles away, but
no,
that's just my guess.
Yeah, but it never works for 3 people, which is required of an item if you're going to triangulate it. So
no. What's wrong with just 2 people?
Because 3 would confirm it. If it's a real item in the real sky, then 3 people's measurements would confirm that they all get the right answer. But if we do that on a flat Earth, you're going to get the wrong answer for 2 people. It's not going to jive.
So where do you get the measurement from?
Okay, so let's just say the sun is 3,000 miles above the ground, and let's say that spot is on the equator. Okay. So then from there, if you take the 45 degrees, so let's say we go to 45 degrees north, and then we try to triangulate to that 3,000 height, it's going to come out wrong. I think I can actually show you if I still have Ruhif's GeoGebra open.
Yeah, but there's a lot of difference between 3,000 miles and 93 million. Correct. Where do you get that number from?
Because that works for every observer. If we all measure that, then we can get the 93 million. If you now again, you're going to have to take the Earth as being curved. So that's the problem.
Yeah, but why? Where do you get that assumption from?
Because if the Earth is not curved, then the math doesn't work. How does that not make sense to you? So you have to, if let's say you take the measurement from a person in New York and a person in California, and then you do the math and it doesn't come out right, but you can if you assume the sphere, then the numbers jive.
What gives you authority to assume a sphere?
Because everything about the Earth tells us it's a sphere. The sun and the moon guarantee that it's a sphere. Every day, for every person. And I'm going to draw a picture for you in a little bit because I think people need to get it. People don't understand. They keep saying that north and south and it's perspective. And here's let me describe this to you, and you just listen to this. Just listen and follow along with me, please, if you're at home. Okay? Listen very carefully. If we went to a circular racetrack, okay, so we all show up. We're at a circular racetrack where there's a car going in clockwise formation around this track. And now I want you to pretend that there's bleachers on the inside of the track and bleachers on the outside of the track. Okay? So people can look from the outside in or they can look from the inside out. And also, let's go to kind of think in your head at 9 o'clock on our circular path. At 9 o'clock, there's a bleacher there facing inside the track, and then there's a bleacher on the inside of the track facing the outside. So those 2 people on those bleachers are facing each other. Now, if we ask them which way is the car going by, you have a problem. The person on the inside is going to say it's going left to right. A person on the outside of the track is going to say it's going right to left. Okay, so that's what flat earthers want to use as their excuse when you try and talk about the directions of the sun and moon. Let me tell you why it's wrong. Is if we then said, is that the true direction of the car traveling? Well, both people would have to say, well, no, we don't know that yet. So what you'd have to do is you'd have to turn and assume the position of the car, meaning that the person on the outside of the track is going to turn to their left, and now they're going to be facing the same direction the car is going, and a person in the north or in the inside of the track is going to turn to their right, and they're going to be facing now the same direction the car is going. So now when that car goes off in the distance and turns left to right because it's going around the track, both people now see the real motion of the car. Both people would say, we see the car going left to right as it turns the track, both the inside of the track and the outside. Here's the problem. On Earth, everybody in the south sees the car go to the left. Let me say that again. When we assume the same position, we're both looking at the direction the car's going. The people in the north see the car going left to right, which it's really doing. The people in the south see the same car go right to left. So that is what's called a paradox. You will never in your life, never at any point, never will you see it happen. Nobody will ever be able to explain that on any flat map ever, because it's a paradox. You can't have 2 people. looking in the same direction, seeing the same item go in two different directions. It's completely impossible, except there is one shape you can put those people on. There's one shape that if you put the observers on, that is what is predicted. So the sun, and that's for both the sun and the moon, not just the sun, you can do it with the moon. So that tells you that God made it very simple for you to figure out the shape of the earth, because there is no other shape it can be, yet people want to fight it. So that's up to them. I mean, if Tony, if you don't want to take that, which is, can they manipulate the sun and moon in your mind, Tony? Can they?
No, it's just a matter of perspective. Depends where you're standing.
I'm dropping you. That is the complete ridiculous nature of these guys. He didn't hear a word I just said. Dumber than a bag of nails. How are you not listening to me when I was just talking for 5 minutes? I told you to listen to me, and you just pulled a perspective thing again when I just explained to you how it's not. That is embarrassing. That's just willful ignorance. That's just willful refusal to listen and to accept evidence for what it is. They cannot manipulate the sun. They cannot manipulate the moon. Therefore, your best bet for figuring out the shape of the earth is to use your eyes and the sun and moon. Go figure it out. You don't need NASA, you don't need government, you don't need military, you don't need education, you don't need a physics book, you need nothing but your own ability to think and to listen when somebody's telling you, hey, it's not perspective for this reason, explaining it perfectly, and then somebody comes on and says, oh, it's all perspective. That makes no sense. All right, let's go with the next one. Unfornicated. What's up? Welcome.
How you been?
Great. You?
I take it you're out of TikTok jail now.
I am. Thank you. I messaged you back. Wasn't that nice of me? Yeah. Unfortunately, I got a nice little 5-day
I know
ban.
you're getting those nice little gong super chats and everything else. So just want to kind of clear up a point because
yes,
beyond frustrating. The false ionosphere. So like the ionosphere is an area that is I do telecommunications. I've been doing it for 30 years.
Okay.
So my background started with the military doing radio communications, whether it be HF, UHF, SHF, all this other fun stuff. So I was a cryptologist stationed on board of a on top of or in a aircraft carrier. So with that being said, I have experience doing this. So when he's talking about Mark R. Epstein and his false ionosphere, it basically launched a bunch of copper, for a second of the word, needles into the atmosphere to make.
Oh, I remember hearing about that.
It's like a temporary. It was supposed to be a permanent reflective layer for radio.
Right.
And this way, geomagnetic storms wouldn't affect it and all this other stuff. That was the purpose behind it.
Right.
It doesn't make the Earth flat.
Right. No. It does not. I mean, nothing's going to make the Earth flat.
Yeah. But yeah, it's these individual things like telecommunications is like my niche. In obviously I've been doing it for so long. So, WITSA made a claim last year about the long distance LoRa transmission that went 1,300 kilometers. So Max and I, night before last, went ahead and or maybe it was last night, took over, talked about it, and I've kind of broke it down for them as far as how it works and stuff. But generally, that's like my lane.
That's good. I like that people do have their lanes. And, another thing that you guys do well that I didn't notice, I talked about it with Jade in the chat before, is that you guys have no problem admitting when something is not your strong suit, which flat earth, I'm not used to that, right? I'm used to the flat earthers. They know everything, all of them. They've never been wrong before.
I'm not talking general relativity with anybody. I'm not going to be talking about orbital mechanics. I didn't go to school for that. In fact, I didn't go to school at all, but
right.
That's not my forte. I don't pretend to know that. But if you want to talk about like wide hull speed and the Catharsis 2 that went around Antarctica proves of spherical Earth, right. I can show you how to do that with that physics. I can explain how physics work in the speed of light in fiber optics and radio and radar, all other fun stuff. But none of it.
Yeah, it's just so different from being flat earthers when they think they know everything. So you never run into a flat earther saying, you know what, math isn't my strong point. You know what, I'm not really sure how to do that because I don't know math. Or where I see you guys do that. I even seen Toon before say something's not in his wheelhouse. And so that's just people admitting that, yeah, we all can't be smart in every area.
Right.
And we might have opinions, but that's all that they are.
Yeah. I mean, it's about being self-aware enough, right? It's just being under that pretense of like, hey, I don't know everything. I don't pretend to know it.
Right. Matt from Whatcast, the other day I was watching his show and he was saying that, if I debate you and then you ask me something that I don't know, I'm just going to look it up. and you can laugh all you want at it, but you're wrong, and I'm going to look it up to get the right answer. So, it's like he's got a point.
Exactly.
Yeah, it's like makes sense.
It's
yeah. Good.
And like you, like I listen to people like Blitz. Also listen to Blank Plan Peterson. Obviously, Matt from Whatcast. I mean, I love his show and his take, and I like working with him on a few things. And I know that's someone we have mutually, involved, as well as Tune and a few other people like Max and stuff like that. So
good guys.
But yeah, I'm looking forward to us getting together and collaborating on that TikTok thing, and I'm glad to see you're out of jail.
Yeah, it should be fun. I'm going to be practicing either later tonight. I'm going to probably have to go live on TikTok just to make sure. Although right before the show, I think we figured out my echo problem because I turned off my mic and I could still see the bars moving. I was like, what is going on there? And then I went in the back room of OBS and checked. And for some reason, my desktop audio had been switched to the same channel as the audio. So basically, I think I was repeating that the desktop audio, which means when somebody was talking to me, they were hearing themselves back. So I think we might have fixed it without even much need for more work. But the thing about TikTok that sucks, you can't test that unless you're live. And as soon as you go live,
absolutely.
Yeah, so it's kind of weird.
I believe Webcast actually went live one day and was just like, hey, I need someone to tell me if they can see this or how they can hear this or whatever. And he had somebody in TikTok, somebody on YouTube, basically doing the same thing and trying to explain to them, because like you said, you don't know until you're live.
Yes. Sorry. So it's just a little bit stressful, but I think I'll have that set, and then we will have a show together, and we'll let people jump on and waffle about. I mean, the TikTok flat earthers are worse than the YouTube flat earthers, which is I didn't think was possible. I didn't know that was even possible. So it doesn't surprise me that Dave Weiss has gone over there now, and that Nathan Thompson has gone over there.
And Sacred from Twitter was now over there. He was on Peterson's show a few months ago and stuff like that.
Is he back? I didn't know he was even back.
Yeah, he's back of sorts.
Okay.
Only on TikTok.
Okay, well, imagine that. Yeah, so I think that's the new
somebody
place.
Else you remember from back in the day.
Yeah, it's just the new place for people to go. It's and again, it's because these short videos, you can just get away with saying anything. It doesn't have to be right. There's nobody there to clown you or anything. It's just it's amazing some of the videos that you see, people just saying things that are outrageous.
I was scrolling through one, and it was going about undersea cables and satellites and everything else, and I'm like, oh, bro, come on, like, dude, seriously, you're gonna go this route? So
they're like I said in one of my songs, it says that the flat Earth former flat Earth proofs are now the flat Earth copes. It's like the thing now. It's just like they're just throwing things out that have already been debunked that nobody even uses anymore, but they just bring them back up because they saw some video where one of us said it a while back or something. So it's just funny. It's like they have nothing, and it'll it's just a matter of time until it's over. I just hope that we save a few people. I don't know if I ever told you about my dream. I had a crazy dream that I woke up and there was this train and it was going down the tracks, and I knew it was going to derail. I'm like, oh man, that train's going to derail. And then I kind of started to get the feeling. I was like, wait a second, I was just on that train. And I was like, why did I get off? Well, I guess I knew it was going to derail, so I got off. And then I'm looking at the train, and it's all the flat earthers. They're all having a great time. They're laughing. They're joking. I'm like, oh, shit, I got to tell them. And I was like, guys, that train's going to derail. And they were like yelling at me like, yeah, right, sell out. Oh, of course it's going to derail. Sure, you know everything now. You're a real genius. Yeah. I was like, oh, man. And then I turned around in my dream, and it was a sea of people. And everybody was watching this train. And I was like, do you guys know that train's going to derail? They're like, yeah, we've known it for years. We knew it when you were on it. I was like, oh, shit, are we going to do anything about it? They're like, we just hope it hits a cliff, because if it hits a cliff and just goes off the cliff, then all those people will be dead and it will be over. Unfortunately, that train sometimes, kind of veers off the track and takes out a school on the way there, or takes out a city. And so they're like, we just watch it for the hilarity that is that flat Earth train. So I don't know if that was fun.
To a certain point, yes, it's the train wreck you watch.
Yes, exactly.
Intentional amount of time, real quick, but I want to let you know.
Sure.
So last night was the nominations for Top Left. Yes, it's based on Dunning-Kruger. It's
I didn't know that.
Top Left is the most confident as well as the least experienced.
Okay.
So my
who's your pick?
Wonderful nomination was, I was going to go Vlad, like you said,
right?
But I decided that I had to take a step back and think about it, because then you have Roger Ledwell.
Okay. I don't ever watch him. I know you guys watch these guys a lot more than me. So what is his deal?
Dude,
he's just
you
not
subject
very sharp.
yourself to brain damage by watching him. Let me just put it that way. But
I think I heard him yesterday on somebody's show, and he was just like making comments. Was it on Vlad's show? He was like making comments from the background, just sounding like just a fool. Everything he said was just not right. Just saying things like, oh, just throwing words together. I mean, it was crazy. I'm trying to remember what the subject was.
So he was talking about like a gravimeter and refractometer that he's going to take with him down to Antarctica because he's going to go there this year, even though
Sure.
he's
Sure
missed
he is.
out on 2 years now.
Sure he is.
Yeah, absolutely. And he's applied for jobs to be there. It's his plan B. So, he's going to be there soon.
Okay.
But he wanted to take this down there so that way, he could take pictures of the penguins, take pictures of the 24-hour sun. Here's the problem. In the description, he missed a very key word, and the word was urine. It studies your urine to find out how dehydrated you are.
You didn't see that?
That's why he's my top left nominee.
Well, it makes sense then, doesn't it? Seems like it. Yeah, I think I've just heard Vlad say so many, and then the flying skier was just hilarious to me because I got these messages from people on Facebook, and they messaged me and they said like, "Oh, the flying skier will be the end of you." I'm like, "What is this about?" So I just dismiss it, and then somebody else is like, "Haha, we caught the flying skier. You guys are cooked." I'm like, "What is this talking about?" So then I find out I see Dave McKeegan's making a video laughing his ass off saying that Vlad took screenshots from when Dave was on my show, like skipping through his video, and there's like one frame where there's a little black thing in the sky. They all thought it was a flying skier when it ended up being just a flag that you could see by going to the original footage. And they're like, they were so confident. They were like messaging me like, "We got you now. We got the flying skier."
Oh God.
Like, oh boy, these guys are classic. So it's actually kind of comedy more than anything. Just comedy.
Well, it's all comedy one way or the other. I mean, the way you look at it. I mean, look, I say stupid shit. I do stupid shit. I don't always know everything. I've made a few mistakes along the way.
Hey,
But
made a
hey, you
lot.
know what? Laugh about it, move on.
That's all you can do. That's all you can do. But yeah, it's just at this point. I mean, because there's so much footage of Antarctica that I find it embarrassing. And people say all the time, like, "Oh, you would have done the same thing." There's just no way. Now, again, I can say that now. I'm not in a position. Obviously, it's hard for me to know. But there's no way with all that footage that you could ever look at that and say that it's fake. It's different than the moon landing where there's one video that's being, that NASA was in charge of that came through the NASA. So, okay, that's something where you're like, "Oh, that's fake." Okay, well, let's look into it. But when you're talking about 10 people with 11 cameras that all are 360 cameras, 24-hour cameras that are live streaming, that is not possible to be faked in a studio,
Cameras filming cameras.
Yeah, no, you can't do that. I mean, it's like, again, it would take so much work to just get that to jive, and nobody's going to find any incongruencies. Now, what they do find is, and this is a product of being a human, is if you have 10 people who go on a trip and then you interview all 10 of them separately, you'll be able to go through their narratives and find things that you think are problems.
Yeah.
I mean, so we have to be smart enough. People need to be smart enough to recognize that. And then they're like, "Oh, there's so many anomalies in your footage." It's like, yeah, there's a hell of a lot of footage. So if you look through all of it, you're going to find something that you don't understand, you weren't there, you question, but that doesn't mean the trip was fake. It's like,
and even if you interviewed the 10 people, each one had their own perspective, right? Their own experiences. Like you weren't with Lizbeth the whole time. You weren't with Austin the whole time. You weren't with McKeegan the whole time. Each one were off doing their own thing and had their own experiences and noticed different details,
right?
Different things that were, that they wanted to see and that they, they were hoping to see while they were there, like the mountains and the 24-hour sun and all this other stuff. So they all experience it differently. So they're going to describe it differently.
Right. Yeah. Same thing with like the whether or not the sun went behind the mountain, right? We were told that it was going to go behind that mountain. So when you're watching me, when I do my first live stream, I say, "Oh, the sun's supposed to go behind that mountain." Now it didn't. And then they're like, "Oh, you said it's going to go behind the live stream and it didn't, behind the mountain and it didn't." It's like, yeah, then we found out that it didn't. So exactly what you see is exactly what happened. I thought that it was going to go behind the mountain. That's what we were all told. Then when we were there, we saw that it didn't. It was close, but it didn't. So it's just funny that they don't, and this is why my opinion of the moon landing has changed so drastically, is because now I realize that a lot of the questions that are being asked are the same deal where I'm like, we weren't there. So just because you see something that doesn't make sense to you, just like when they see something that doesn't make sense to them, they immediately jump to, "Oh, you faked it." No, it just means you don't understand. That's what it means. So
yeah, I mean, and when it comes to like the moon landing, it's like there was a guy in Louisville, Kentucky, so nowhere near Houston, nowhere near anything else. He was only listening to one side of the communication. So either they were beaming up a whole conversation from the studio into a satellite and then back down for the guy in Louisville who they didn't even know was listening could listen into the astronauts talking to each other.
Right. Yeah, at this point, the only way that you could say it's fake is if they did a real-time fake from space.
They went to the moon.
Right. They went to the moon and just faked it while they were there. All right, well, thanks. I appreciate you being here.
Hey, no problem, brother. I'll tell you,
talk
to
soon.
you later. We'll get together
All right,
next week.
sounds good. Peace. I just want to show this real quick, just so that if Tony's watching, he can wake up, because I find it sad that we still have to have these issues. So again, this is a circular racetrack, right? And I'm just showing you that if this circle is the sun, sorry for my coloring here. Let's go with red. Okay, so this sun is going in a clockwise formation here, right? So we know that if these two people, let's just mark them in white. So let's say there's somebody here and there's somebody here at these bleachers. If they are looking at each other, okay, and the car comes around, yes, this person's going to say it went left to right, and this person's going to say it went right to left. Okay, that's fine. But that's not the true motion of the sun, right? The true motion is going to be the one that you assume when you are the car. So if you want to know the true motion when this comes around here, and you want to know the true motion, then those people need to turn around. So this person's going to turn and face this way, and this person's going to turn and face this way. Now they can both see the true motion of that body. So if this car goes around here and turns off this way, even if it's far away and you can't really see that, both this person and this person will clearly see, it's no longer perspective, Tony, this person and this person clearly see the same correct path of the car, because they are taking this position, the perspective, the point of view of the person on the car. So knowing that, here's the weird thing. On the earth, these people on the inside, they see the car or the sun go left to right, which is correct. Okay. And then these people in the south, they see the car go this way. Now, here's another thing. Is this, hopefully you realize that since this is a circle, that all of these bleachers can be placed anywhere on this circle. It doesn't matter that I started at 9 o'clock. You could imagine these bleachers being anywhere and the exact same thing is happening. So what that means is every single person in the outside sees the sun go this way. Every single person sees it go the wrong direction. They see it, oops, my bad, it's turning, so they're on the outside, and my thing's getting backwards, so you're going to go turn left.
Do we think we have a potential backer-upper here?
We'll see.
What do we got?
There, that way. And then everybody on the inside sees it goes like this. Well, this is what is impossible. So this is why the earth will never be flat, and it's time to give it up. All right. Tony Coriolis, how are you, my friend? Let's get your sound effects in here if we can. Fast enough. I don't know. Maybe not. Maybe we can. Maybe we can't. What is it called again? Godfather. Starts with a G. I don't have it ready. Sorry. Yeah, I do. No, I don't.
Oh, good.
I don't. Wait, I do. It's right there. Ah, we got it. Oh, now you're getting to see my whole soundboard? I'm very upset. This is supposed to be hidden. You're not supposed to see this.
Oh, I've never seen it.
You're not supposed to see that Enrique is actually this guy here that just is a bunch of buttons and stuff that you can just pick one and go, what do you think, Enrique?
Oh, you wanted it now? My bad. I was busy doing everything for you.
Thank you. And about Santos?
Jefe. Santos Bonacci. Is he in an asylum yet? You know, una casa para los hombres crazy. He should be.
All right, anyway, let's go back to the show. What's up, Tony?
What up? Am I on screen?
You are now.
Okay. Okay.
Nice haircut, by the way. You look sharp. You look good.
Oh, I do it twice a year.
No homo.
I
No homo.
really go drastic when I cut it. I even think if Landry does AI, it's going to be thrown off since I got the haircut. It doesn't know how to handle a drastic haircut.
It's over. It's done.
Well, it made you black last time because it gave you a really big afro.
Well, I don't know. It kind of looked. It wasn't really my hairstyle exactly. I judged it, but it doesn't do it right. But okay, I do got a couple things. So just okay. When you were saying, I hope Tony's watching. You were talking about Tony Drake. I like Tony Drake. I still like all his calls. I was even thinking during his call, so I guess he was the one that was going concave, right?
Yes.
Yeah, so what is even their thought on space? Because I guess my kind of thought is, I still don't know how I can go. The legitimacy to space, I still question. I get you changing your stance on the moon and everything, but just as you say now it's the most documented thing ever, but have they really shown you know how since Earth is all big, right? So just imagining it as, they say it's all big globe Earth, and then you go out on a rocket. So you have where Earth is down, from the rocket. And then don't you have to flip to be moon is down at some point? What's the documentation on that they got?
You have to explain to me what you mean by that. So explain what you're saying.
Yeah, in any space video game or something. There was an old Sonic Adventure Battle 2 where like you're flying in space and then you kind of have the gravity of each little planet thing that you're going to. So like your gravity, you end up getting close enough to another planet to be like, okay, that's now my down, and then I'm on that planet.
Gotcha.
It's like I get, you know what I mean with that?
Yep.
Yeah. What do you think? Is there anything that like, as you said, they've documented a bunch, they've taken as many pictures as possible, I guess you would say. What would that? I mean, I still have questions like that.
Do you know how far away the moon is from the Earth? Not in miles, but I mean, like how many? Well, I guess you would probably know the miles. But you know, it's
I'm
like
not up to date for my moon trivia now.
So if you were to take an Earth globe like this, here, let's say this one. So if you take this Earth globe, you know who got this for me?
Yeah, I've seen that one before.
Tony got it for me.
Yeah.
So I'm teaching him with his own globe here. So the moon is 30.
We're talking about going to the moon, though. So okay, I'm still following you.
But hold on.
Okay.
So the moon is 30 of these away. So we'd have to put 30 ball Earths before we got to the moon. So it's extremely far. This is why the people who say like, why do we see it in Australia at the same time we see it in America? Is they're confused. They might be thinking it's very close, but it's very, very far away. So
no, yeah, okay.
Explain to me what you mean now. So if a craft is in orbit of the Earth, what are you expecting to see?
No, I got you.
Okay.
Honestly, I'm fine even just calling back in. I'll take a video of the video game just to show you kind of what I mean.
Okay.
Like you're on one big planet, then you're flying around in space just as the character, and then you end up coming close to like another planet, and then you got that as your down. You know, like
that would work the same way.
So,
They say
okay,
they say when they went in orbit of the moon that you get in orbit of the Earth and then you squirt your squirty guns one more time, and then you head towards the moon. Now you're in the orbit towards the moon, but you're still being pulled back to the Earth. So you have to actually accelerate, right? You got to move. But then when you get to like it's going to be more than halfway. But after you get to the certain point where the moon becomes the pulling force, then you can actually stop using your gas, basically, because now you're being pulled to the moon. Then
and I watched a movie this past weekend called Moonfall. You ever heard of that movie?
No, what's it about?
Such a weird movie.
It is a weird movie, and they say like the moon goes out of orbit, and then it ends up getting closer, and then when the moon's closer, you can like jump, and then like you'll be the moon's gravity is going crazy on the Earth right now, but like it's worth a watch, okay?
All right.
But really, they say all the space stuff works like the movies do. I still question a lot. I'm fine with anyone think whatever they want.
I think that being skeptical is not a problem. I think being skeptical is good. I think
okay, you did say though for the last guy that called, you go, the other guy says that he'll just look something up to make sure he gets the right answer. Well, when you look something up, you're getting it from a source.
Okay, but let me put it this way.
The OG Jaron used to really know the difference of that kind of.
Sure, well, here's the thing about it though. So let's say that you're a flat earther or you're a truther who believes everything's fake, and there's another guy who's a globe earther who looks everything up. At the end of the day, who do you think knows more information? Who do you think knows more true information?
Doing a total in that exact scenario, yes, I get that you would be able to find everything on your Google thing.
Well,
what does Flat Earth have? Flat Earth's got nothing, right?
So, well, it's not that Flat Earth has nothing. It's that there's
hot sauce.
People need to understand that there's evidence for things, and then there's what's called proof. Everybody wants to pretend that evidence is proof.
I totally get your take and everything. And honestly, I wasn't even trying to talk any of that stuff, but just when you said, yeah, that makes sense, that is kind of taking a source on something. And I'm only saying that because I got into like a little back and forth with some guy about like politics, and we were talking COVID and stuff. And same thing, he's looking up all the COVID stuff on, it says right here, blah, blah, blah.
Right.
So, okay.
I get what you're saying there. Yeah.
Okay. So, yeah, I'm just seeing relations of different stuff. And
I guess the difference is for me is that when you're talking about something that we can't go verify, that's a problem, right? So I don't mind if somebody says, hey, I can't verify things in space, so I don't believe anything about space. But I now believe you can verify the shape of the Earth. That's the problem. So I think that without...
I hear your case, Jaron, for sure.
So,
but okay,
so my problems with outer space or distances to planets or distances to stars, none of that will ever change the shape of the Earth. It will just change and I don't think that they know what's going on in space.
Yeah,
I think they're way off.
Still, you're talking to the guy that I've heard all your stuff, man.
Okay.
I know.
Yeah, you have heard it.
We're cool. And I still call into your
Who
show.
was the umpire I went? Who's the umpire I ate dinner with?
Me down. All this hard questioning. So,
who's the umpire I went to dinner with?
Hunter Wendelstadt.
Wow, very good.
Yeah, I know.
You've watched me too many times.
Better than everyone, Jaron.
You have watched me too many times.
So, okay, the 2025 Almanac, that's the one that was not, I did not talk about the stats at all in any previous call.
Okay.
In this one, they still show vaccinated at least one dose and then fully vaxxed is different percentage.
Uh-huh.
And then for fully vaxxed is 69.5. That's like 70%.
Of the USA?
Of the USA is fully vaxxed as of the 2025 Almanac, okay? And then it says 81.4 got at least one dose. now I didn't even think about checking it until after last week's call. But I got, of course, a 2026 almanac. And in this one, they totally simplified it. They didn't even say one vax or anything. They just say the 81.4 number. So they're kind of trying to hide just between the two books. They're not trying to show you the fully vaxxed percentage or anything. And that's a little sus to me, I'll say.
A little bit. I'm not terribly thinking that number's wrong. You think it's much too high?
I do.
81?
I do.
I
think in big cities you can get close to that, but the most of America, they're trying to act like most of just rural America is 70%.
I think a lot of people needed to do it for their job. I think a lot of people needed to do it for school, and I think that we live.
A lot of hands were forced, totally.
Right, and we live in a bubble where we know people that didn't get it. Right, so basically everybody we know online didn't get the vaccine. So it's very easy for us to say, "What? There's no way 80% got it," but it's because we're in a niche group.
I'm mostly saying it because of who I know in real life. I'm not saying it because of my internet people.
Oh, see, in real life, I know a lot of people that got it. Certainly my family all did. So yeah, I mean, I could see that number being close to being right.
I wouldn't say majority that I know, and I know a lot of people.
You wouldn't say more than half got it?
No, I wouldn't. And then I told it to someone who moved here from Colorado, this one girl, and she thought I was way off base. So I get that everyone's kind of thinking different on it.
Yeah.
This just is my thought on it. So
gotcha.
I'm holding to it. And then, I know I'm taking up more time. I want to say,
we like you though.
Joe Cool brought up his take on how all cops, like, is that even like everyone, like marshals, like no respect for any sort of like law enforcement person? I almost think the people that need to do law enforcement and stuff would be like a Joe Cool guy.
Yeah.
Just because you'd get it. You wouldn't fuck with people when they don't need to be fucked with. But how can you say that all are bad at, like, there's a way to do it good, I think. So I kind of just disagreed with his take.
Right. I think that there is a way to do it good, but I'm not sure you can do that under the current setup.
Because, sure, possibly.
Yeah.
It's just but I still think there could be a righteous, people that can do it right. Honestly, why couldn't he do it perfect? Or anyone could do it.
Did you know that they have so if you're a police department and you pull over a car and you confiscate from it a bunch of money, right? Did you know that money goes to that police department? Which is crazy. You would think that it goes somewhere else, but no. The police get, and if you find a bunch of items and guns, and you find that the police department,
why would
gets
it go somewhere else?
Well, I guess because you don't want. So what they have then is cops setting up on the freeways in Texas, to where they see people coming from Mexico or whatever, and they're just stopping them because they are taking a shot at maybe there's money in that car, and they want it for the department, and they get. People celebrate them like, oh, way to go. You got all these, and look, we get new uniforms. It's just kind of a conflict of interest a little bit.
Yeah. But then I'm talking like Andy Griffith, type of cop.
Right. Sheriffs are different. Sheriffs are different. Yeah. Sheriffs are going to be different. And I believe in private security. I do think private security would at least allow us to fire people that are not doing a good job. Right now, we don't have the ability to fire police. We can't. I can't. You can't. So we'd have to.
Yeah, I hear you, but still, I kind of lean towards. I just hope everyone's good, type of thing.
I do too, but I don't think that's the case. And it's because then if you have somebody who's checking, it's just like how all these investment firms that get audited, it ends up being all those audit companies are the ones that end up being the biggest culprits because they are allowing people to miss their audits, to steal money. It's just it's because you can't have these people that are supposed to be, because we look at an auditor, we're like, oh, this auditor is definitely auditing this company. But we don't ever think, well, the auditor could be working with the company. So it's just like this thing
I
where.
I would think that, yeah. But I mean, someone could look something up on, oh, well, no, that's not true because blah, blah, blah. They say they look for that and, they don't do that. So what are you talking about? Show me a fact that.
No, it all comes down. Well, look at the people like Lehman Brothers and those other people that have, got busted. So anyway.
No, I know. There's shams going on. And then lastly, I wanted to say, you mentioned Newton. Jaron, I've never said to you, but I saw. So
don't say it. Don't say it.
Oh, okay.
No, I'm just kidding. You can say it
later
if I know what you're going to say. But go ahead.
It was about Newton. Do you know what I'm going to say?
That he shares a birthday with me?
Yeah.
Yeah,
but that's like one of his 2 birthdays. They said that he has.
Why does he have 2? What does that mean?
They used to say it was the 25th of December. Yeah. So I guess it's actually the 4th, but I don't know. Who knows?
That's weird. He never had sex though. So I do not listen to anything Newton said. I don't believe in Newton.
Yeah. So you're a what are you? You're a earth goat, and then he's a water goat. So I at least looked that up.
What are my enemies again?
Your enemy is
whatever Landry is. That's my enemy.
I got it right here.
Everyone.
Everyone.
Oh wait, what is your enemy? Goat. Oh, an ox. An ox.
Ooh.
You want me to tell you who an ox is that I know? Sorry to.
What year was that be?
Rose.
Rose, really?
Yeah.
What year is that? So 1985.
Yeah.
And then what
That's
would be
the enemy?
Yeah, it's the enemy.
It's a good segue, dude. We got an ox in the backstage.
Oh, let's go. Where's the ox?
But all right, peace out. And then
Hey,
I
later.
want to say, Chamberlain had a weird definition too. So Landry, I looked up that. You ever seen a definition for Chamberlain?
No.
It's sus. Like someone's gonna make like a video about this is the true meaning of Chamberlain.
I know what chambermaids are.
It says an official who manages the household of a sovereign or nobleman, a chief steward.
Way to go, Landry.
I don't know if there's anything to that, but maybe you're Jaren's Chamberlain.
We're going to change his name next week. It'll be a new name next week.
Yeah. All right. Peace out, dudes. Good
right,
call. Glad I could hear you guys today.
Appreciate it.
Buddy.
Later. Snake Turban Head says, Coriolis is so much better than Caleb. Keep this celebrity coming back. Better hair and better attitude. I did like the hair. It was good. But Jaren, think of all the blood his brain had if he was a virgin. Wow. That's true. That's probably why he figured everything out. It's probably just super, super smart because he just put all of his thought processes there. And
how much of your audience do you think are still virgins?
None.
You don't think since the transition happened from flat to globe nerds, globe enthusiasts?
I don't think so. Right. If you're a virgin, type 0 in the chat. I don't think we'll see any zeros. All right, go ahead and bring on. Who else is here?
We have Mindful Exposures.
Oh,
is in the building.
What's up, Esra?
Hello. Thanks for having me on.
How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Good. I'm putting on your clock. Go ahead. You can begin.
Thank you. So I guess I just thought that maybe appropriately to steer the direction of the conversation, because we're constantly talking about Earth and potential planes or dimensions, to get into the concept of consciousness.
Okay.
So kind of curious your beliefs on this, but part of this for me stems from my background. So I worked in sleep medicine with EEG, and something that most people are probably not aware of is that your brain activity when you're in REM stage, it actually mimics very closely to your wake stage. There's just slight variances in the speed of the brain activity.
Mm-hmm.
So what I'm kind of getting at is, are we in a an illusion or like a dimension type plane universe versus like what really reality is?
Well, I would say that would be very difficult in my opinion, because when you die, you're dead, right? So it's not quite like a dream at all, where a dream, you can die in your dream, you can, but I do think that dreams are crazy. I think that the fact that your brain knows to shut off like its ability to recognize when something is off. Like, have you ever had a dream and you're in a different house with a different husband or wife, and your brain doesn't like recognize that that's wrong? It should be like, wait, hey, hello, this is not correct. I don't live here, and I'm not. But it doesn't. It like turns off that portion to kind of like play games with itself. But as far as whether or not we're in a dream state within a dream or something, is that what you're basically asking?
Yeah, kind of, because there's been some new studies out too that shows that consciousness exists outside of the brain, and this also correlates with the concept of resonance frequency, where this is like that idea that your energy is 6 to 8 feet outside of your body,
mm-hmm.
and then they've also kind of in tune with your brain waves running on certain frequencies that you can actually work on healing certain parts of your body with this type of frequency wave.
Yeah, actually, like the Royal Rife machine.
Yes, exactly.
Which I've actually seen work on people. Now, again, the science community can always say it's a placebo thing, but no, I think that there is something there. I think there is something with sound and frequency. I guess where I draw the line is pretty much until I'm shown it. I don't believe anymore that people have supernatural abilities of any type. Just because I know people that are involved in that James Randi Foundation, where they have $1 million right now sitting in a bank account, ready to give away to anybody who can prove it at all. And the way they do it is a great setup. You can even bring your friend, your dad, whoever, your mom, and they put them in one room and you in another room, and they shuffle a deck of cards and they show the person one card, and never has the person in the other room correctly guessed the card. So that tells you there's no like lucid dreaming where you leave your body. You can't like pick up somebody's thinking waves from another room. And if you can, then that person needs to contact me and let's go to the IEIG. You'll win $1 million, and then we can start saying that there is such thing as supernatural ability. Because right now, that's something that 80% of the country believes in that has never been shown to be the case.
Who is taking that poll? 80%.
80% of people believe that there's supernatural abilities like ESP or like intuition or like lucid dreaming or any of those kind of things. Like,
so where does like synchronicity fall into that? When you start seeing, it can't be a coincidence because it happens over and over and over and over again. Would that be supernatural?
No, I don't think so. That wouldn't be your supernatural ability. But like remote viewing, there's people who believe in remote viewing. But if that was possible, then why wouldn't one of them just sit in the room? Then they'll show the deck of cards to that one person, and then they'll be able to remote view what that deck of cards, what card has been drawn, and then they'll say it, and then they'll win $1 million.
I mean, and I'm not denying what you're saying, but is this based off of one specific study that you're talking about?
No, I'm basing it off of, there is a group called the Independent Investigations Group. I know 2 guys that are a part of it, that they have this money from James Randi that's still sitting in a bank account ready to be given away. Now, they're really careful about, obviously, they're not going to fall for any tricks, so they do sit down with the person who claims to be able to bend spoons or claims to be able to read minds or whatever that is. They sit down with them and they come up with a test that guarantees that they're not cheating. And they said most of the time when somebody says they can read somebody's mind or whatever, they just put them in one room and somebody else in the other room, and then they do a deck of cards and shuffle it and have the person select a card, and then they get the person in the other room to just needs to say the card, and the person's never gotten it. So, and they've had, I don't want to say thousands. There's been like hundreds of people that have tried to win this award, and in every case, most of the people leave when they hear the test that the group wants to do, because the group gets together and they really make sure that the person can't cheat. Right. So they make it a very stringent test to where you can't cheat, which is one case. Like, that's why when I asked them, I said, well, you can't bring your own friend, right? They're like, you can bring whoever you want. I'm like, what? Well, then you could just tell your friend what you're going to do. And they're like, no, that's why we shuffle the deck of cards. So it doesn't matter what you tell the person before. They would have.
And are there other circumstances other than just a deck of cards that are used?
Yep.
Or?
Yeah, they've done lots of them. So people have claimed to be able to read minds or to be able to bend things from a distance, like bend spoons, or use their mind to move an object. And when they set up a strict test, it's never happened. So anyway, but that's my current understanding. And that would be, I think it would be foolish of me to say, oh, it does take place, even though no one can come forward. So I'm challenging people. Like I said, show me the evidence. If you're somebody who thinks you have that ability, then contact me and say, Jaron, I have the ability. I'll contact them, and you can go down there and prove it. And they say that it's never happened. And that's why they were kind of shocked. They said, in a survey, 80% of the country believes that there is supernatural abilities, yet that's something that's never been shown. So again, here's the other thing. A lot of people believe that maybe if there is a supernatural element to this world, that maybe it's set up in a way that you can't prove it. Now that's
the whole point, right?
Well,
it's supernatural.
Yeah, I mean, you might have a point there.
Something like I observed was when doing sleep studies was
tell me about it.
The brain activity, like being manipulated by somebody's phone in the room, not even being like directly next to them, and interfering with their wave activity. But that's
that's expected,
I
right?
agree.
Yeah, that would be something
not trying
that.
To say,
no, I mean, you've ever heard? Have you ever heard like when somebody calls your phone and you start hearing everything in your house like kind of twitch out a little bit? It used to do it a lot more. I don't think it does it as much now. It used to be like I would know my phone's about to ring 2 or 3 seconds before it would ring, because I would see other electronics in the house kind of like wig out for a second. Like you make a sound, like, and then your phone would ring. So anyway, I'm just saying that somebody who's asleep, who's having a dream, okay, so I would recognize that your brain is going to be showing the kind of activity that you have when you're awake, because it's almost doing everything that it does when you're awake, other than the physical movement of your body. But as far as your mind's working, it's working physically, right?
Well, and because when you're in REM sleep, you release a hormone that paralyzes your body. But as you guys most likely know, if you have dogs, that they don't have that, and that's why they often are like running in their sleep.
Oh, I didn't know that. I do. The puppy we had would do that, like a little, and then like cry a little bit, and like,
Or sometimes they actually physically get up and like run into the wall. I've actually had to do that.
So I guess because I have a bunch of people who say like, oh, well, I can do lucid dreaming. I'm like, what do you mean? Oh, I can control my dreams. I can control where I'm at. I float above myself and I can go into the next room. I'm like, okay, well, then if you can do that, then you can win the $1 million. Just go take a nap in that room, and then when they draw the card, get up, float over there, see what the card is, come back.
Do they actually believe they're manipulating real world stuff? Because I always thought it was like a
Yeah.
Right, that's the
I thought
question.
you were like seeing.
Right, so you wouldn't be able to see something in the real world like a card being drawn, right? So that's kind of what I'm
like,
saying. Is
my
that,
experience, because
yeah.
I'm a lucid dreamer, is
Okay.
I don't immediately dream of my immediate surroundings. I'm always somewhere else, but I am able to control the outcome of the dream.
Would you be able to communicate? Would you be able to control the location that you do go? Let's say.
Yes and no. Like, generally, like it's already, and sometimes I don't realize I'm in that lucid state until like further into the dream, and then I'm more invested in what's actually going on. So it's more just about my communication choice. But I don't specifically have dreams about like my house or my room.
Right.
Generally, I'm outside of those zones. I might not even recognize where I'm at.
Right. So I mean that couldn't that just be a dream though? So what I'm guessing asking
but
you
I
is,
guess like what I was kind of touching on from the get-go too is just like the state of your brain activity, and I hear what you're saying, but just this again with these recent studies showing that your consciousness actually exists outside your brain, is it possible that we are actually able to leave the body, and then with that in mind, are we actually, like, what is this reality because of that? Because we're pushing this point of like what is Earth and what are these planes, when it doesn't even matter.
Can you explain what you mean by they've proven that consciousness is outside the body? So how is that shown to be proven or shown?
So there's multiple articles that I could post, or
yeah, I can look them up. I just was wondering if there was something
like just type in consciousness exists outside the brain.
Okay, and then
like Scientific American, Popular Mechanics, Frontiers, like multiple websites have this information out.
I did see a crazy study too that recently showed that like a male and a female do better in these computer tests than two males and two females. I don't know. It's just a weird, like almost.
I think I might have heard that as well.
Yeah, there's like a power in the male-female dynamic that allows them to predict things on this computer program that two males and two females cannot do. And it's like, I want to say it's 7 times more, that they came back 7 times more successful if it's a male and a female than having one of them or a male and a male and a female and a female. But anyway, so that's cool. So you've done some sleep study stuff like that. I think that there's a lot of importance there. I kind of tend to think, I mean, at least my belief of the world is that we all are sharing the same consciousness. We're all from the same consciousness, which I believe is God. I don't believe there's a God outside of us. I believe that God is experiencing the world through each one of us. And so this is why, the idea of God knows all things, or God knows what the future is, and I don't believe in that, because I think that's, if you knew the future, if you knew everything that would happen from here on, that would be hell. That would be God living in hell. God,
I knew you'd say that.
Yeah, well, I mean, think about it. You would know everything that's going to happen. So why would you exist? The point of existing is not knowing what's going to happen.
And so then, would you resonate with the idea of like the planes of existence?
Yeah, I think that there is. I think there's something after this. Personally, I do. I believe. Okay. I believe that. Yeah. I think that there is a. I believe in reincarnation. I think that people that either die young or maybe came close to fulfilling whatever they needed to fulfill. Like, I think we judge ourselves
like a karmic path. Yeah.
Yeah, and I think we judge ourselves. I think at the end of your life, you will face yourself, and you will know right away, because you are God. So you're facing yourself. Because think about it. Do you really think God, the creator of all things, is sitting up there keeping track of your sins? And then when you die, you got to go sit in front of him, and he's going to be like, you jacked off on Thursday, the 14th of... And then you looked at it, God doesn't want to do that. It's ridiculous. But the only thing that would even care about your advancement in this world is yourself. Nobody else cares. Nobody gives a shit. So I think when you die, you face yourself, and you'll know right away whether you're coming back or whether you passed. And most of the times, I think you come back, because you didn't complete it. And then that's why they wipe your memory, and then you start over again. Now, I do think that after this life, imagine if the next plane of existence was all the people that graduated this life going to the next plane of existence, and there is, now that you're there, you do remember your past lives. And I think it's the ultimate test. It's the ultimate test, because if you told people the rules of the game, then they're not playing for the right reasons, right? Like people who are good because they don't want to go to jail. You tell me who's better in this case. Who's better? Somebody who wakes up every day and thinks about killing everybody on their block, thinks about it, plans it out in their head and everything, but never kills anybody, or the person who comes home and finds their husband cheating and kills that woman. So which one is a better person? Somebody who has
a crazy question.
Yeah.
Well, think about it. I mean, like, is a person?
I would assume the person who's thinking about it constantly is going to have some really messed up like health issues, because I definitely resonate with the idea of emotions to disease. So like you're going to manifest it within yourself.
Yes, I think that the idea with rules that you don't want to, like the idea of the Bible being a rule book, I don't think that actually doesn't separate who are the good ones and who are the bad, because you're going to have a bunch of people who follow the rules because they're the rules, not because they're good people in their heart, not because they care about others, but because they don't want to do anything to themselves. They're more selfish. They're selfishly following the rules rather than doing it because it's the right thing to do. They're doing it because they don't want to get in trouble. And I think that that's kind of the,
and then the idea that supposedly you can be forgiven for your sins
is the worst thing ever. It's the worst doctrine to teach people. And think about it. Think about
go murder a bunch of people and then just be forgiven.
And then people always ask me, why do people in jail always find Christianity on the way out? Well, duh. And then because there's a religion out there telling you that you can do anything and all you need to do is believe in Jesus and you're forgiven. And then we look at all these pedophiles that were priests, and it's like, well, those people believe full-heartedly that Jesus and God are real. They believe that they were born sinners and that we're all disgusting in God's eyes. And then they agreed to not have sex with women. And then you gave them a bunch of little boys in a back room and little albs to help them do things. So all of a sudden, if you're a priest and you're thinking, hey, I gave up my whole life for God. Hey, if I just touch this boy real quick, we're all disgusting. We're all wretched sinners, and I'm forgiven for my sins. And who's going to be forgiven more than me? I'm a priest. So the religion itself is terrible. In fact, I'll say something even crazier. I just was saying earlier that if you believe in Christianity, then you must believe that abortion is the most selfless act that there ever was. You're sending that baby immediately to heaven. So what is better than that? Why would you put a child through the pain and agony of going through life on earth when you can just kill them? In fact, if you have a child at home that's under 5 years old, every day that you let them live, I feel like you're being selfish, because you could just kill them, in which case they would go immediately to Jesus's arms forever. So I don't even think Christians believe what they believe. There's no way they believe it, or else that is the right thing to do. Because if you ask a mother, if you say, would you do anything for your child? Would you do anything in the world? They'll say, absolutely. Would you die for your child? Absolutely. Okay, then why not go kill them so that they get eternity in heaven? And you're not going to get eternity because you killed them. You'll probably go to hell, and they'll be like, oh, no, I don't want to. I thought you said you'd do anything.
Yeah, but then you just ask for forgiveness, and it just starts all over again. Yeah.
So that's the sad thing, right? If we found out a girl who was not able to feed her kids, and so she killed them, we should be happy. We should be like, oh, thank God she killed her kids, and they go to heaven. Because if you wouldn't have, and they would have grown up in the ghetto, and then they would have gone in with the wrong crowd and stole a car and killed somebody, they would have gone to hell. So thank God you killed them, or you had an abortion, because you sent them to heaven. So that just cannot be the truth.
I would agree with that for sure.
Yeah. So to me, I think that a better system would be if God placed everybody here, and I don't mean we are all God, and then it allows God, so God experiences every rape, every death, every birth, every theft, every glorious moment, every terrible tragedy. God is right there through all of it, and that's how the universe is kind of learning itself. So there is no entity outside. It's just like we're all drops of water, and we could all belong to the ocean, right? But is the ocean a separate entity? No. The ocean is the collection of the drops of water. So God could be the collection of all of us. There is no separate entity of God. So, I mean, again, that's just what makes sense to me. It doesn't mean that I'm stuck to that.
Yeah, and there are other religions that touch on that concept or that idea that it's not necessarily like one entity. Yeah.
And so I do believe that on my final day, I'm going to face myself. And so that's why my whole life is trying to clean up for the things I did early on and trying to make amends for things that I did, because I do think that is the ultimate goal. If I think I can just do a bunch of wrong and then just go through life and sit on the couch and believe in Jesus, at the end of my life, I'm going to face myself and I'm just going to be shaking my head like, oh shit, I got to go back.
Yep. Yep.
So,
definitely.
Well, I do appreciate the call. That was good.
I was going to say, I appreciate the information and what you're sharing there.
Yeah. I'm going to look up this whole thing about brain activity and it being outside, and the consciousness being outside the body. So thank you for the head. All right. Thank you. We've got nobody. Infinite Loop. Sounds like a Mortal Kombat.
Jared, can you hear me?
Yep. I'm going to start your clock. Go right ahead. You might have the YouTube sound on. You should turn that off and just listen to the sound over here on the
Hello?
Yeah, listen to the sound on the StreamYard page. Mute the YouTube side.
Hello?
I don't know why you can't hear us. We can hear you, but you sound like you're...
I see me talking, but I'm not hearing anything back. I don't know if this is me on StreamYard. I was listening to everything in the backstage.
And then you jumped on and you can't hear us now? Landry, can you show your camera just so you can see if he sees you? Do you see Landry now? Oh, he can't hear me. Wave at him. Tell him we can't hear him. We can't hear you. I mean, you can't hear us. Sorry, we can hear you. I don't think he can hear us. All right, we'll let him go back down for a second because I don't know what's going on there. Don't know what's going on there.
Let me try to come back.
Okay, that was weird. Infinite scoops of ice cream. Nice. Ground extracts in the house. What up, my dog? I've enjoyed your guys' Sunday night shows. Yeah, you have an awesome family, awesome wife. I think that you're very lucky that you got out of the flat Earth when you did, because, or I don't even know if you're still in it, but I can just tell that you and your wife are not the types that have gone full in on this, and they refuse to ever see anything differently. I think that will end up wrecking relationships and wrecking everything. And then when you're teaching your children, it makes me sick to think about that. You have to recognize, you have to think to yourself, if I'm wrong about flat Earth, am I hurting my children by teaching it? And the answer is absolutely. And so you should recognize that if you really think you're so right, have you been right about everything in your life? No, you have not. And so you should recognize that it's possible, that 97% of the world might be right and you might be wrong. And that the chances that you are right and the 97% are wrong is slim. And so should you be putting your children's future? Because I'll tell you right now, if you're teaching your children flat Earth and they end up in school or they end up in if you remember how hard school was, remember how difficult it was with bullies and making fun of, and you weren't a flat earther. Okay. So if you think that your children are going to have an easy time or that they'll be able to just shake that off or they'll be able to live it down. I'll tell you a story. In second grade, we had a substitute teacher who was taking roll, and my name was written on it was back in the days before there was like computers printing out our roll call. So my name was written, but the N wasn't quite completed. So it was Jera. It looked like an F. And so the teacher says, Giraffe? Is Giraffe here? Well, that was in second grade one day, and I did not live that down until I left that school in sixth grade. That's how kids are, right? So one day, a substitute teacher says giraffe when she's doing roll call. And granted, did it help that I was a tall, lengthy, skinny kid with a long neck? No. But still, I remember that, and I'm thinking to myself, like, if it was something like a flat Earth, once that's attached to your child, I just know now that there's never going to be a point where they're like the heroes. Oh, they had it right the whole time. Thank God your parents told you this. It's going to be that they are embarrassed and made fun of. And probably you're not going to be able to stop that. So I just, again, the fact that you're teaching children, that scares me. It scares me because it's just not true. It's just not correct. And I get why people think it is. And I get why people thought that the evidence that we saw tells us that the Earth is flat. And there's a lot of lack of evidence that shouldn't lead us to think that a lack of evidence means there is no evidence, right? So that's why going down to the South and doing what I did was important, because there was a lack of that evidence. Well, I filled in that lack, at least for myself. So we got to all do the same thing. And then one thing I just want to describe, when you are looking at evidence of something, evidence can lead you down the wrong path. I always tell the story of a murder scene, but say you're an investigator and you show up at a murder scene and there's 6 pairs of shoes at random places in this house where this murder took place. Well, that's all evidence, right? But only one of those pairs of shoes, let's say, was actually worn by the killer. The other ones have no consequence on the thing at all, but they will take you down the wrong path. And so if you become too full of yourself and you think that your own shit doesn't stink, you're going to find these shoes and you're going to go and you're going to find little clues that you think, and then before you know it, this is your whole life, is the red shoes. The red shoe is the killer. And then you find that somebody went to another house and found bloody footprints and found, DNA in the shoes. And then you're like, oh, this one pair of shoes found the killer. So it means all the other pairs of shoes were all leading you down faulty avenues. And that's kind of how it is with flat Earth, is that, the Earth does measure flat below your feet. Right. Water does lie level below your feet. Right. We do see too far by 10%. Right. So those things, you can either follow those to the right answer or the wrong answer. you can take those and think they mean that the Earth's flat. Like, well, we measure it flat, therefore it's flat, right? Oh, we can't, water lies flat, therefore it's a flat Earth. And what you do there is once you become so full of yourself because you think you know these little facts, you then have no ability to look outside of them to see, do other things match, right? Because the globe Earth is there saying, yes, the ground below your feet is flat. Yes, water lies level. Yes, we see too far. And so if you don't listen to those things and understand where they're coming from, then yeah, you can get stuck in the wrong belief. And that's why I have people messaging me saying, well, what about your 100 proofs of the flat Earth? It's like, no, I maybe had 100 evidences and I was showing different evidences, but those led me down the wrong path. I lost Landry. What the hell's going on here? Let's go with Infinite Loop, see if this works. Infinite Loop, you are in Landry's seat. Enjoy yourself there.
Hey, can you hear me?
Yep.
All right. Sorry, I don't know what happened last time.
Me neither.
So, hey, I was here listening to Enrique. I thought he got deported by ICE. What happened?
No, he hid out. We can check with him. But Enrique, are you you did hide out from ICE, right? They're gone?
Órale, chingón.
I don't know. What does that mean?
Oh, shit. You better keep them safe, man. ICE is out there.
Yeah, I know. They were in my town yesterday. I heard too, by the way. Yes, go ahead.
So, first thing, I got to say, you ruined 2025, man. 24 was great. Florps around, you guys, you, Austin, Nathan Thompson. There was a S tier, there was a A tier, B tier, C tier, and then you had like the Matthew Hakeems of the world. You had MDD going on. I was able to get my regular picks. To be honest with you, there's not one person worth watching. Can you do a show that does a 2026 ranking of who the new S tiers of Flat Earth are?
I don't know him well enough because I can't stand TikTok. I just think it's such
but you got to do it for the public, man.
Okay.
Like, to be honest with you, like McToon's no longer like worth watching. FTE is like, I don't know, man. I can't stand that guy. He goes way too hard. Like somebody brought up Dr. Blitz. I actually really do like him.
Mm-hmm.
He's good, but I don't have a fix anymore. Like I don't know which channels to turn to.
I feel for you because I don't either.
Like you did those debates, right?
Yeah. No, I don't have anything either. I don't think anything's good on YouTube anymore, to be honest with you. Sadly.
I know. That's what I'm saying. Like that's why I was hoping you could do like a like bring everybody together.
Yeah, I mean, I would like to do that too because I
class
think
out and say these are the guys to follow.
Yeah.
Promote
no, I think
the
that's
new
good.
Flat Earthers, man. You got to promote the new ones.
Promote how bad they are. Here's the thing is that the thing is there's nothing new that's going to come from Flat Earth. Nothing new. It's never brought anything to the world in 10 years. Okay. It's not going to bring anything to the world now. So it doesn't matter how many new people sign up. They're not going to bring anything new. All it is a repeating of everything that we've already heard and then the systematic process of debunking that. But what's wrong with TikTok is that since it's a team thing, that they're not even looking at the truth. They don't care about the truth of the statements they're making. They care about whether or not they look good and getting clicks. That's it.
Yeah, no, I'm saying like I agree with you. TikTok's not worth watching. I initially got into Flat Earth as comedy, just flat out saying it. Back in 2016, listened to it for 6 months, a year. Then you're right, it's the same thing. Went away. 2021 came back, new group, and then 24 everything just died, right? So I still want to get my fix. That's why I'm hoping you could support the public and start promoting people. The second thing that I was going to say is I saw the thing, I don't know if you were involved, but Melodome did the Over the Horizon with the globe and the magnifier and stuff like that.
Yeah. Well, I told him to try it, yes.
Okay, so I know there was somebody else earlier that you were having the conversation with and talking about perspective. I had a thought about modifying that experiment slightly, maybe upscaling it a little bit, because flat earthers don't understand scale whatsoever, right?
Right.
Is getting two those kids mobile, I think they call it, of the planetary system, projecting one upwards, projecting one downwards, and then putting random people in different locations and saying, okay, if we zoom out, you see everything. Where does it spin? How does it spin? So you could show everything like that. Yep. Both of them are spinning correctly, but once you place them in the poles, they're going to spin opposite direction. and it kind of goes against like, well, it's perspective. Then you say, show it, because you can put a person anywhere. What do you think about that as a?
No, it's
again,
great.
It's not like it's proving anything, right?
Well, it's again, my deal is when people say that it's not proving anything, it's like, well, there is only one way to, let's say we have a globe in front of us and we have a flat earth in front of us, a model or whatever, and we tell everybody, okay, all you need to do is make the model match reality. Well, there is a shape that you can do that on, it's the globe. And the globe, just by putting observers on the globe and then spinning it with a sun off in the distance, each one of them sees exactly.
But, they're not gonna follow it, right? Oh, sorry, I didn't
No.
cut you off. Go ahead.
No. I mean, that's the thing. So it's almost futile to be going up against flat earthers who refuse to look at evidence. And I know that because I was one of them, right? So you get, you kind of get in a little groove where, of course, the people that are celebrating you, championing you, supporting you, talking about you, making, positive statements about you are the people that are flat earthers. And so your brain just doesn't have the ability to say, I think that those guys over there making fun of me and the guys over there saying I should drink bleach are the ones that are correct. Just your mind can't do that. So that's a problem.
You just said it right there. So, Jaron, I need to start talking good about Flat Earth Dave. He's the greatest. His app is solid. It's the most secure Fort Knox app. Everybody should download it.
Fort Knox.
Get him on.
Yeah, do it. Do it. He's not going to come on my show, but yeah, I heard he has a new podcast with Angels of Shite. That's what somebody told me.
Oh, dude, that guy's not worth watching. I mean,
oh god,
like,
no.
That's what I'm saying. Like, back then, like, at least you were there. Austin just said random stuff that made him sound smart, but there was a class of people that communicated.
Yeah, and we believed in evidence. At least it seemed like we were at least believing in trying to show and trying to prove it and trying to come up with ideas and thoughts and theories, and that just is gone now. There's nobody out there coming up with theories. I mean, the guys from Ether Cause have been doing this celestial navigation or the celestial theodolite thing for a year. Just going over and over again. We see this mountain get occulted, but we don't use refraction, but we use stellarium. It's like so convoluted and messy. It's like, no, it's just not going to happen. And again, I was talking to a Christian yesterday, and they were saying something about, what would you believe in all the universe and everything now? And I'm like, yeah, I think it's more likely that God would create something like that than the simple flat earth. Because they want to believe that God is this great, powerful being, but he made a very simple, childlike earth if it's flat.
Well, I mean, to be honest with you, that's like one of the reasons I enjoy the flat earth is the level of hypocrisy that they go through, right? And they blame everybody else for a dogma, and I'm like, your whole statement is dogma.
Right.
You can be wrong, right? Like, I think you were talking about earlier, I think whoever the other guy was is like, I don't have a problem saying I don't know, because I don't know. That doesn't mean I will never know. I could just go learn it. I could go look up even if I Google something, great. I have a general understanding, but if I want a deeper understanding, I could go say, hey, you know what? Show me the references. Let me go read the reference documents.
Right.
And then I could say, if I really need to, let me go talk to a professor, talk to an engineer, talk to whatever. But a flat earther will never talk to anybody else other than a flat earther, but they go around.
Right.
I find that with religious people, like the creationists, all of them, right? So that's what is funny to me is the level of hypocrisy that they don't see in themselves. And I don't know if that is a good amount of people or is that really a small minority.
No, it's all of them. I mean, the ones that are not that way probably would have already left at some point. I do think there's a couple that stayed around till when I left, and then that's why I always tell people like Robbie and Patricia and Paul on the plane were people who called me almost right when I got back from the trip. I mean, it may have been 4 or 5 days, a week maybe, but they all reached out and called me and wanted to talk and ask me questions. And what shocked me is that nobody else did. Right? So imagine, like, if I'm thinking of these people as truthers and I get back from the trip, those guys did what I would have done. If Dave Weiss got back and said, hey, I went down there, I saw the 24-hour sun, it is there, I would have been calling him, I would have been talking to him and watching his videos and saying, okay, explain to me what you saw, explain to me, asking questions so that I could get to the bottom of it. But they've chosen just to block me and move on with their beliefs. So it's just a completely different mindset to where I think that they've already kind of grown accustomed to the fact of if somebody is going to be going against you, you just block them, and then you celebrate the people that believe the same as you. And so they don't even realize. Like, imagine Dave Weiss's YouTube world right now. So he's already blocked everybody who's ever made a bad video about him ever. So he doesn't see anything. We don't even think of it that way. We don't think that he's not watching Toon. We don't think he's not watching Simon Dan. We don't realize he's not watching any of that because it doesn't exist to him anymore. So he lives in a world.
So let me actually question that, because like I don't know about Flat Art Dave, but like let's say Flatzoid or somebody else, right?
Mm-hmm.
They say they don't watch anybody, but they're always the first to react
True.
when somebody makes a comment.
True. I think those guys all do watch something, but not like, okay, so Dave Weiss doesn't, right? Like if you've noticed, he's never made a reaction video to anybody's video. He just doesn't do that.
He doesn't have a reaction.
He just does his interviews and tries to sell his app and just kind of goes through the process. But again, it's like he lives in a world where there is no opposition because that's the way it comes across to him. So I just recognize now what that does to you. That if you now I never blocked those Globers, but I got to the point where I stopped listening to them. I wouldn't watch them at all. Like Toon would even say something to me sometimes when we were talking on the phone. Oh, did you watch my video? I'm like, Toon, I do not watch you. Like, why would you think I'd watch you? This is back when I was a flat earther still, but I would just tell him because he would ask me if I saw some portion of his video. I'm like, I don't watch your videos. Like, why would I watch your videos? So I didn't block people, but I still mentally blocked them.
But yeah, I mean, you make a point, right? Like, if you're gonna take it as a hit piece, you're not gonna watch it with an open mind, right?
Correct.
You're gonna start looking at from let me find the gaps.
Correct.
The other thing I was gonna ask you is, whatever happened to Dr. Shiba? Were you part of that?
Nope. I think they just gave up on it because the flat earthers didn't come up with an experiment. So I think it's kind of over. I think it's over. Now again, I don't know if that's the case or if they're kind of reconvening or trying to bring people back. But the whole thing was just a cluster F anyway of people that they wouldn't allow, and then they were able to use that as an excuse for they wouldn't allow anybody up there. But then you come to find out that guy is like talking shit and saying stuff about Dr. Shiba that didn't need to be said. So anyway, it's just I wouldn't expect anything to come from that. The only thing I know that's happening is that in June I'm going to Edmonton, Alberta, Canada, with Josh Monday, who has a podcast, a Christian podcast, and we're going to go and we're going to film the sun on the 21st of June, and film its sunrise and sunset, and then film it skirt the horizon, and we're going to measure degrees of longitude and do a couple other tests that we've come up with. And then we're going to, and just to point out how great of people are, Josh sent something to Will Duffy, just kind of saying, hey, this is what me and Jaron are going to do, wondering if he had any advice. And Will said, oh, you should definitely bring a 360 camera. And then Josh said, I'm not sure if we have enough money to buy one of those. And he's like, oh, you can use mine. I'm going to send you mine. So just little things that people don't realize that, like, I don't know. It bothers me more than anything.
If you're going to do that, like, one of the things might be cool is if you already know what your location is, plot out what the degree of angle that you're expecting, the path of sun, overlay it. Now, again, there are the flat earthers are going to be like, you CGI'd it.
Right.
But overlay the path, right? And then when you're doing it, you could show that it's following the exact path that you pre-calculated from your home for that location.
Right. Yeah, and then we're going to go on December 21st back to Punta Arenas. Yes, I'm going to go there twice. We got pretty good. I mean, we just bought our flights for Edmonton today. They weren't too bad, and the place we're staying isn't too bad. So I like that idea because I think that, at least for me, I can make like a documentary from that, showing that the Earth works in a symmetrical way, that we can make predictions when we see the North about what we'll see in the South and vice versa. Measuring the degrees of longitude will show clearly. I mean, the only thing that the globe Earth has to be scared of is when we're up there. If we measure 2 miles and it ends up being 1, that's the only thing that I could think of, which is not going to happen. But what it will tell us is that if the degrees of longitude are the same at the 53 degrees north and 53 degrees south, that it just destroys any possibility of the Earth being flat even more. Now, again, am I expecting to reach a bunch of people? No, but Josh wanted to go. And by the way, Josh asked Dearth first, and Dearth, of course, said no. So then he reached out to me.
Yeah, of course.
So he wanted to go down with Dearth.
So what's next for you? So to be honest with you, I think the series you did with what's his name? Oh shoot, the moon landing one.
McKeegan.
Dave McKee, and
Right.
I thought that was good, and I think like that type might be a niche where, because you have in mind that is somewhat open in a good way, right, and you are skeptical, maybe start polling the audience to say what's the next hot or whatever the next conspiracy theory is, and then finding the expert to say, help me understand it.
It's a good idea. I'll have to think about it.
Just run through that.
Yes, I will think about it. I have to check. I'll have to check some of those numbers on the Apollo show. I don't know if that even did very good, but yeah, I don't know what's next for me. I really don't. I've tried a couple things, trying to throw some, spitballs at the wall and see what sticks. And so far, I've just kind of realized that my channel may be done. That it's just the way it goes. It's kind of life. So, yeah, I mean, what's coming up for me is I'll probably have to get a job here in probably by March, and then still I want to do YouTube stuff. It's just going to be much more of a back burner kind of thing, or once a week kind of thing, and that's just the way it goes. I mean, it's just what are you going to do? So it's not. I think I always kind of told myself, oh, as long as you're doing what's right and you're being honest, that everything will work out. And that may not be the case when it comes to being an online personality, because, and now I realize that like we were talking about, being in the middle and saying I don't know is not going to bring people to your channel. Nobody wants to show up and watch you say you don't know. That's just, in fact, if you told me, hey, so-and-so's on a YouTube video right now, and I'm like, oh, what are they talking about? Well, they just say they don't know what happened with Charlie Kirk. They're not sure. So that's not enticing to anybody. Nobody wants to go watch somebody say they don't know. What they want to watch is the people saying they know for a fact, 100%, guaranteed, things that RV Truth says, things that Flatzoid says, things that Sov says, things that Dave Weiss says. That's what people are interested in, is when somebody is telling them exactly the answers. Now, they could be wrong answers in most cases.
Yeah, but to be honest with you, that has a short lifespan, right? That has an extreme short lifespan. If you're able to, not saying that you don't know, but saying stuff like, if you were to say, like, what I was saying is,
what do you mean by a short lifespan? Because that's really. I'm losing you. I lost you. You're in an infinite loop.
Over and over.
No, you're breaking
Hello?
up. No,
Hello?
we're breaking up.
Hello?
Now we hear you. Go ahead.
Sorry, man. Internet sucks here. But like Flatzoids, all of them have a short lifespan because they don't have anything intelligent to say after the first 6 comments, right? But if you're able to turn yours, again, I don't know why I'm saying I'm not an internet expert, but if you're able to turn it into like a modern day debate where you're pulling people, you're not, because I think honestly you do a great job as host. Like even when you were a flat earther, your moderations were solid. So instead of you being the content creator, bringing the contents to you and you moderate through the ideas. Think about it.
I know. I think it's a great idea. I do.
Anyways, so the last comment I was going to tell you, because I am like, again, my opinion doesn't matter, but to be honest with you, I think your conscience is clear. I know that was one of the things where a lot of people said you brought a lot of flat earthers in. Dude, you spent a year saying you were wrong.
Yeah, I feel better now.
And you sat there and explained it to everybody. If they don't get it, it's not on you anymore.
I feel the same way. Thank you for saying that, because I do feel that. I did feel a weight on my shoulders, definitely in the middle of last year. And now at this point, like you said, everybody's heard me. It's so funny. I see all these TikTok people now. They're all in my comments saying, haha, you're so irrelevant. You're so irrelevant. I'm like, let me explain what irrelevant is. Irrelevant is me not knowing who you are and me never watching one of your videos ever in the history of my life. And you're on my video commenting. So the only person more irrelevant than me is you. To every single person that made that comment. It's hilarious. It's like, truly, let me explain to you what irrelevant means. It does not mean that you're here commenting on my video. Thank you for doing that, by the way. But that is kind of the opposite of irrelevant. So, irrelevant means
I wish you luck, man.
Hey, thank you.
I want you to stick around because like I said, I think you do good material.
Thank you.
But I get it, right? Like even now, it's sometimes hard. Is like there's nothing new, so I understand.
Right.
But
and
I think you have a future if you just figure out.
Thank you. Well, you're saying that because that's what I want to try and find, because I do think that I have a talent there. And I don't think that I don't want to be these people, which I now know how to make money on the internet. I know how to make money on TikTok. It would be very easy to be sensational, to be a sensationalist, and to I could say a million things tomorrow and get views. So, but just knowing that that's not who I am and who I want to be, and that there's no part of me that wants to be deceptive. And then I realize as I look across the internet that everybody's deceptive. Everybody who's online making money is being deceiving.
Check out this one channel. Maybe you'll get some inspiration. Raging Tomatoes. I don't know if you saw that one.
Oh yeah, I've seen it. It's like a debate channel. Yeah.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. But like bringing people like that, where it's just random.
Right.
Like bring a MAGA person in versus a leftist, right? It still be sensational.
Yeah.
But you're the mid.
No, I get it. I mean, the one thing I didn't like about being a debate moderator is I was able to watch and I learned that none of these people actually listen to the other person. So it really is about the audience. And I think that, but you're never going to, the people aren't even listening. I'm watching them and somebody else is talking and trying to explain something, and the other person, and you can see them in their head thinking of what to say next. And then that person would finish talking and that person immediately starts talking and they're not even talking about the same subject. So I just saw I felt like it's just people bashing their heads against the wall, getting nowhere. Like, did anybody change their mind because of one of my debatism shows? I don't think so. Which means that I, did a bunch of shows for no reason. So anyway, maybe they did.
But like in that point, you got to also look at I want to say Toon. Like Toon admits it. Like he's not trying to convince anybody.
Right. He's keeping people off.
Entertainment. You may want to, you may learn, the audience may learn something.
True.
But you're not ever going to change those two people's minds.
No, at least not right then, right? It's always good to plant seeds, because I've also noticed that too. You just, when I'll be talking to people and they kind of don't want to hear me anymore, I'm like, okay, I did my job. I planted the seeds. Now, because nobody's never in my life has I seen somebody say, what? Oh, really? That's true. Okay, now I believe that. It's always, you come to it on yourself, right? Like I heard about flat Earth and I didn't become a flat earther until I came to it myself. So it certainly wasn't anybody else's fault. So I think it kind of goes that way with everybody, is that you almost feel like your brain needs to discover these things on its own. So planting the seeds, mentioning these things over and over again, talking about the sun going the wrong direction, this moon in the south, eventually that's going to, how many times can you plant a seed that tells the flat earthers that they have nothing? Right? Like, so how many years could you have nothing in a row until you realize and look back and go, man, Jaron said when he got back from the trip, there was nothing. And now it's been 3 years and nobody's come up with anything.
If you water a seed too much, that thing's going to die. All right.
That's true. It's a good point. So you got to be careful. You got to find the happy medium. So,
so anyways, man, much appreciated.
All right. Thank
Wish
you.
Luck.
Hey, thanks so much. Appreciate it. Looking at the chat here, I miss Arwen. Is he gone? Is he out of, I don't even see. This is how little I pay attention to everybody. People are more fixated on being right than having a discussion. I mean, that's the, and then I've noticed that mostly on TikTok, because what they're all about there is, you're cooked, or you clip that, where there's no desire for truth there, right? Imagine that you are just watching a debate between Toon and some other guy, and you're just waiting for that one moment that the guy can say something that Toon doesn't answer right or slips over his tongue, and then you cut that and you go to TikTok and you make this video, and then all the flat earth world takes that as some sort of victory, right? So they don't pay attention to the fact that there was a 3-hour debate where a person got annihilated for 2 hours and 57 minutes. It's the one time where the person said something and maybe Toon said something wrong or whatever, whoever it is. I'm just saying that's not a recipe for truth. That's a recipe of a team mentality, to where you start to lose any desire for truth. You now are not looking for the truth. You're now looking for the flat earth truth, right? So you are the opposite of a truther now. You are a religitard. You are pushing dogma. And so that's where flat earth is now. And they're going to be successful with it because there's so many people who have gone full on into flat earth. So it's now their identity. So when it's your identity, you're going to take every one of those as a win, right? Somebody puts up a video with a little clip of Toon saying this, then that's a win. So you're not even looking at it as to what happened in the rest of the debate, like a truther would, right? So anyway, that's just a problem that is going to be tough to overcome. A lot of these are going to be tough to overcome. You're not going to have somebody like a Dave Weiss or a Nathan Thompson at this point. They are flat earthers forever. They just have to be. And I think that the only people that can really maybe get out of it are people who haven't called a bunch of people names. If you've called people names, it's just going to be a problem. And if you look at me, if you go back, if you look at my videos from, say, 5 years back and to now, I stopped calling Globers names. I stopped calling. Now, was I still going hard at NASA? Was I still going hard at that stuff? Yes. Fartimus, right? And, the whole thing. But what I wasn't doing is I wasn't attacking Tune and FTFE, and I wasn't calling people names and calling people morons and retards, because when you do that, then you're going to have a problem if you ever realize you're wrong. That how do you convince yourself that you're wrong when you have to be the retard then, right? So I've always said that. That's why I tell people very early on, don't argue with your family. Don't get in a fight with your brother. It's not worth it. It's not worth it to have you call him a moron. He digs his feet in and calls you an idiot. And now you both hate each other. And then one of you is going to need to admit to the other, hey, you were right. I'm the moron. And people just have a hard time doing that. So I know of brothers that don't talk anymore. I know of husband and wives that have split up. And that's probably the hardest thing to hear. And then I think about all the children that are going to have a hard time in life because their parents taught them that the earth is flat. And it's just not. And there's proof of that everywhere. And like I said, it's like so simple when you think about it now. I'm like, so the earth is a sphere and everybody on the earth is mapped on the sphere. So we have the luxury of, we showed up at the world and somebody said, here, you live here. Here's the model of where you live. Here's where you live and here's what you should expect to see. And we have the opportunity with eyes to go out and verify the map that we're given. That's how easy it is. So it's laughable to me now that we ever even question something that can be observed yourself and shown to be true or not. You cannot take, and again, I'll challenge any flat earther to do this, create a flat world in some sort of either computer simulation or even in a physical world, create a flat world, and then I want you to map it on a sphere that matches the observations from the flat world. Because that's what you have to believe if you believe that we are actually a flat earth, but we're told that we are lied to about being on a sphere. Because then you're saying that the observations that we make from the sphere match the observations from when we were flat. They have to, because that's where we really are. So I now look at it and I think the elite must laugh at us and think like, these guys actually think we can lie about the shape of the earth. Because that isn't even possible. We have eyes. So if you have eyes, you can observe and you can check a map. Again, I use the example of your apartment map when you get a new apartment building and they're like, here's your map, here's where you live, you're in room 303. Whatever, you go to that apartment number, and then in the map it shows a pool outside of that apartment, and you look at it and you're looking around in real life, you're like, there's no pool here. In fact, there's just another bunch of buildings and you're looking at it. So right away you know that map is not correct. You could take it back to the office and say, this map is not correct. It shows a pool over here that's not there. The same thing is true with Google Earth, that nobody has come forward and said, hey, this says that the sun sets right to left, but for me, it sets left to right. It's never happened. Why? Because Google Earth is perfect. That it perfectly predicts and matches the real world observations that we make. Therefore, it is impossible that it is not the truth. Or else you have to explain to me how you could put people on something that they're not on and it matched the observations of the thing that they're not on. And the other thing I have to say, I told somebody this the other day because I was saying that they were talking about they lied to us about this, they lied to us about that. I said, okay. I said, but if I'm going to lie about something, for instance, let's say I leave the house at 5 o'clock and I get home at 7. And my wife says, where were you? And I say, I was in Zimbabwe. She'd be like, no, I mean the last 2 hours. And I said, no, I went to Zimbabwe. There's no chance that she believes that. She'll immediately be discarded. Why? Because it's so absurd and doesn't match the real world. Well, the same thing would be true of a globe if it was a lie. If we lived on a flat earth and the guys were just sitting around the table and they're like, here, I got an idea. Let's tell everybody that they live on a gigantic ball and it has water sticking to it and it flies through space at crazy speeds and the sun is really, really big. It's like 1,000,000 times the size of the earth. And let's just and we'll talk about orbits and we'll make up the gravity idea. We'll just say things are pulled to the center. Like, it would be so absurd that it would have been dismissed at its face immediately. The fact is that it's not dismissed because it matches all observations. And at a certain point, you can't argue with that anymore. You run out of argument. There's no more arguing points. Except for, we see too far. Yes, we live in an atmosphere. We don't live in geometry land. Oh, well, the ground's measured flat below our feet. Yes, we're very small. The Earth's very big. That is what's going to happen at this local. Again, how many times do I have to explain to people? 660 feet is 1/8 inch of curve. And that's all you need to understand. This is why when somebody says, well, water doesn't bend, I don't even tell them it does anymore. Like, you know what? It doesn't. If in 660 feet, the water bends 1/8 inch that you'll never see, then hey! I love the self-reflection. How do you reconcile your new truth with the fact still flat Earth believers will never see the 24-hour sun? What? How do you reconcile your new truth with the fact still flat Earth believers will never see the 24-hour sun? We filmed it, so I'm not really sure what you mean. You can go down there. This is why we're going to Punta Arenas. It's so obvious in Punta Arenas in December because the sun sets right to left, skirts the horizon, and then pops up again. And in the time that it's skirting the horizon, it's above Australia's head. End of story. That's it. In fact, I believe it was Josh who said that that was what got him to really start doubting, is when I said that. He said, showing that when the sun sets right to left for you in Punta Arenas, which is the complete opposite way the flat Earth calls for, and then you ask where the sun was when it's south of me and it's above Australia's head, there is no other answer for that. You know? No one flat earther has even tried to prove it's flat. Go find your ice wall, rent a boat, and map it, or do something that doesn't use global measurements. Right. Well, that's another thing I realized that people need to recognize. Go watch my video of flying above Antarctica. You realize that you couldn't even get there. So we all talk about, why don't they let us go there? You wouldn't get there. I say they should immediately let any flat earther that wants to go there, get a boat and go there. You will die. Good luck. Because there's nothing but ice fields on the way to the peninsula, and you couldn't get a boat through it. So you would have to get on a piece of ice, get your boat up on there, walk a certain distance, and then, so is your belief that the movement is dying? Well, I think it should die immediately, but do I think it's dying? I think that there's enough people in the world that you can talk to them a certain way and get them to believe flat Earth. I think I could do it easily, right? Is you start with things like, well, you start with the moon landing. If they don't believe in that, okay, now you've got an in as to why they faked the moon landing, right? Oh, did you know that the picture of Earth that we've all used since 1972 was taken when they went to the moon? So if that's fake, then there is no pictures of the Earth, right? So this person doesn't know. They're not going to immediately go check and say there is pictures of the Earth and the Discover satellite. So it's very easy, because of the lack of knowledge that people have, to get them to start doubting. And then if they are rejected in any way of life, then that is an attractive thing. There's a group of people who are saying, hey, we were screwed. Hey, we were lied to. Hey, we found the truth. Hey, we're cool. Hey, we're God believers. So it's attractive to some people. Now, if you're an educated person, or you went to college, or you have some sort of science degree, or you're in a scientific field, then that's laughable to you, because you use those things every day or in some aspect of your life. But there's a reason why there's no really college graduates in the flat Earth. It's pretty obvious, right? I mean, there's a reason why that's the case. It's because knowing that I went to a couple weeks of college, but knowing that I never went, so I didn't really have a good physics understanding. It just wasn't really taught in high school that I remember, not like a solid physics course, even though I think it probably was, I probably took the class. I don't know. Maybe it's just a college class. But I'm just saying that there's like, there's a group of people out there that you can easily convince that we've been lied to, which I think is the case. And especially with COVID did the worst thing that they could have done. COVID put a bunch of people at home, and people who are at home have the internet in front of them. And I know because it happened to me, right? I mean, I tell people all the time, my friend came into CVS and told me that 9/11 was an inside job, and I told him to get the hell out of my store. I didn't want to talk to him about that, and that's ridiculous. Most ridiculous thing I've ever heard. And then when I quit CVS and I was home, we were making the bookstore, and I had all this time on my hands. You have the internet in front of you. You start thinking back to all these things that you heard. Oh, I heard the moon landing. Oh, I heard that 9/11's an inside job. And if you're searching for that stuff with a biased mind, you're going to find it. You're going to find stuff that tells you that 9/11 is an inside job. So it has to be more about you correctly looking at evidence and correctly asking the right questions and getting both sides of the story. If you're going into it thinking like, oh, I want to find out if we faked the moon. Well, you could, searching enough, find tons of people who, it's not even a matter of question anymore. People in the conspiracy world believe the moon landing was fake, regardless of what you say, regardless of evidence. So, and I've noticed that big time with the moon. And who was saying it the other day, where I said, they were like going on and on about, well, for sure we didn't go to the moon. I said, okay, well, give me your best evidence that we didn't go. I'm like, well, of course we didn't. I'm like, okay, see, this is the problem. I said, so this is what I found out when I asked my audience to get me the information of any evidence that we didn't go to the moon. Everybody had the same answer. Well, of course we didn't go. Well, it's a joke. What do you mean? Look at the footage. It's ridiculous. It's a joke. Like, okay, we have to learn to understand what evidence is. evidence is you are backing up your story. Okay. So NASA has backed up its story. They say, hey, we went to the moon 6 times and we did a bunch of pre-launch stuff or pre-mission stuff where we went Apollo 7, 8, 9, 10. And we still have these meetings with these people, and we still have they give speeches, and we still have all the documents and the plans and some of the audio transcripts and all that. So they've provided the evidence to say they went to the moon. Now, if they didn't go or they faked it, it's on the people saying so to now back up their story. So saying, of course, it's fake is not backing up your story. NASA doesn't say, of course, we went to the moon. Sorry, there's no paperwork or no videos, no images at all. They don't say that. They say, we did go to the moon, and here's our footage, here's our evidence, here's our proofs, if you want to call it that. So I think that conspiracy theorists are lazy and they just love to that's an easy way out. Oh, of course we didn't go to the moon. So they've now created in their head a world where the government can lie to you on mass scales to where they can orchestrate a hoax so large that it's lasted 50 years, that has completely blindsided humanity into something that is totally not true for something so simple as the flat earth, but they've convoluted everything with all these spinning planets and everything. So again, there's a reason why my mind is changing on a lot of these things, and it's because, and this is why this show came up, why we called it Back It Up, because I said all these conspiracy theories that you hear, they are never backed up. They're just people. It's like the people when Charlie Kirk died. Oh, it's a hologram. Oh, it's this or that. It's a palm gun. It's a okay. Those are just your ideas. Those are just your mental, jumping jacks. Those are not backed by solid evidence at all. So once you start asking for that stuff, you realize that there's not a lot. Now, there is some. I still stand behind my San Bernardino video, if you haven't seen on the Interesting channel. I still cannot come to the conclusion that that was a real event because of the impossibility of the final scene. I've said it a million times. It was 4 hours later. There's a bear cat setting up for 4 hours, like a block away from where they would eventually kill these people. And they have all the police there. They're all getting together. The only reason it's been filmed is there's people in the audience or around there filming with their phones. There's no newscast or anything there. And then the people that killed everybody in San Bernardino were missing for 4 hours. Nobody knew where they were. So mostly you would think, oh, they're on their way to Mexico. They're hiding somewhere. So where are they? They're at their house. And then a cop goes to get them or goes to see if they're at their house. The cop passes the people as they're coming back to where they committed the murders earlier. They come back down that street. Now they're being chased by the cops. And it just so happens that they go down the street next to where that bear cat was, that then goes around the corner, comes from the other side and kills them. And that is I don't care what anybody says. Either that was the most impressive and lucky move by the police in all times, or that was a setup ending meant to look real, meant to show this couple got killed on the street in front of everybody and there's all these cop cars lined up, but there's no way that was a real event. And that's just, again, so people might say, oh, you're a conspiracy theorist, so you're not thinking right about it. Yeah, maybe, but somebody needs to explain to me how that could ever happen. How could it happen that you have a person who committed multiple murders, they take off, you don't even know who committed the murders, and yet you start setting up a little Bearcat, which is like a SWAT vehicle with all the cops getting ready and they're all getting in their gear and they're all getting ready, but they're just right next to the street where they end up killing the people. So the only thing I could think of, you'd have to then explain to me, you'd have to say, oh, well, what happened was they went to the house to get them. Then they saw them leaving. So then they chased them into the final position so that they could be killed by that Bearcat SWAT team. So again, but you can't, if somebody's running from the police, you don't get to chase them to a street that you want them to go to. It doesn't make sense. So again, that's one, you can watch that video. I talked about it. I showed evidence of the guy saying, oh yeah, I saw who committed the murders. It was 3 white guys in military fatigues that came out of that building and got into a black SUV and left. And yet we're told that it's a husband and wife. The wife weighed 110 pounds and was carrying all this ammunition, and her boyfriend, and there's all these, again, I'm not saying nobody died. I do think people died in that medical building, but I'm just saying, so not everything is just, I can't dismiss everything and just say, oh, everything that I've ever thought is wrong and the mainstream answer is right on everything, because that's just not the case. And so you do have to kind of be smart about it. And again, I think the biggest problem that I had that I want to get away from is marrying myself to any idea, right? So like the San Bernardino, that's my current belief, but I am open to anybody coming forward and saying, Jaron, I can explain what you think is an anomaly with San Bernardino. Now, I don't think that that's possible, but I'm open to it. Just like I didn't think it was possible with the moon landing. However, Dave McKeegan did it. Dave McKeegan said, bring me all the evidence you have and I'll refute what I can. And we'll be able to take from that the things that I can't refute, and we'll be able to look at those things. And I found out real quick that it's very easy to refute most of the things that flat earthers have claimed. And when I saw him debunk Bart Sibrel, and if you guys haven't seen that video, you just go to Dave McKeegan's channel, and it's probably about a year ago, maybe 14 months ago. He does a video where he shows that Bart Sibrel is totally wrong about him saying they're not halfway to the moon. He's completely wrong. It makes zero, and this is what I mean by believing things that makes no sense because you hear a certain narrative. So if you remember that scene, they're talking about a transparency has been put over the window, and that the clouds that you see is actually them being in low Earth orbit, and you can see the clouds through the transparency, and it looks like the Earth. That's ridiculous because they would have to be moving. If they're in any craft, whether it's in orbit, whether it's in a plane, unless they're in a hot air balloon or something, the ground would be moving. So if they put a transparency over the window and we're flying, we wouldn't have seen static clouds that look like the Earth. We would have seen moving clouds. So, and then he shows that Bart Sibrel's lying or doesn't understand what he's saying when he's like, oh, they pretend that they're at the window, but they're really at the back of the window. No, they're not. He can show you that they're at the front window, and then when they're going to start pulling back, you can see them pull back. You see the light come into view, the little shop light on the left. And so that's indicative of them backing up away from the window. And then you see Mike Collins walk in front of the window, and then they say, oh, well, look, that's a transparency. It can't be a transparency. So you just start to realize that people get hung up on these ideas. Like Bart Sibrel, that's his big claim to fame. Oh, we ordered this footage, and we got this outtakes, and the outtakes prove that they weren't halfway to the moon. No, Bart Sibrel's wrong. He's wrong about everything he says. I don't think there's anything he says that's even worth discussing anymore. It's just not there. It's not there. So anyway, I just say that people need to recognize that there are conspiracies. So I think now I wanted to get across, like Tony Coriolis earlier, that I do think there is a better position to be in. For instance, if you have a choice of, hey, I can either go to high school and learn a bunch of lies, or I can become a conspiracy theorist and believe that everything's a lie, right? Okay, well, at the end of high school, who's going to know more about the world, and who's going to know more truths? The person who went to school, who maybe learned some lies, but also learned a bunch of truths, or the person who just said, I'm a truther, so everything's fake. That person literally knows nothing about the world. So all these truthers that are so-called truthers, they actually know the least about the world, right? Because everything just must be fake. We don't know everything's a trick, everything's a trap, everything's a psyop, everything's fake. Well, that person is not a truther. They are getting further from the truth. Whereas if you watch the mainstream news, hey, guess what? At least some of the things you're watching are true, right? At least some. That's why when I ever heard like, oh, if it's on the news, it's fake. I'm like, well, the news said that gas prices are going up. Is that fake? Okay, so that's real. Okay, so there is some real thing. There is information I can get from there. But again, this is the cult mentality, the flat earth mentality, the truther mentality, is that you are to watch them now. This is why the whole thing is a money grab. The whole entire thing this is why you don't get people to admit they're wrong. Now, I didn't realize this until after, which is if you admit you're wrong on the internet, you can kiss it goodbye. Kiss your whole career goodbye. Kiss whatever you've been doing goodbye. And that's the scariest thing that there is. And then on top of that, when people see what gets you views and clicks, it's always sensationalism. This is why, I don't know if you guys have noticed. Have you noticed that every single video on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok is all fake? It's all fake now. They're setting up these situations. I don't even know where they're getting these like little makeshift planes. It's like a little plane with like 6 seats that you see, and there's people sitting in them, and they're always, or a guy comes home and he's like, I'm going to surprise my mom. I'm from the military. I've been gone for 5 years. And like, he's like standing behind her. She's like teaching a class in a closet. It's like so bad. It's like so disgraceful. And this is what the world has become, because that's what makes you money. So the world has become not about truth anymore. The world is about getting clicks, getting views, getting people to think what you're saying is true, getting people to think what you're showing is actual when it is set up and faked. So that's the direction the internet's going. Now, is there going to be a market for people that are like, hey, I don't believe in any of that. I want to look at things that are true and look at things that are real? I don't know. because those people are going to have a lot of questions at the end. They're not going to have definitive statements, whereas that's what people want. They want to hear definitive statements. They want to see things that they find funny, see things that they find interesting. I mean, I see it all the time. It's just every video is fake. You know, it's very difficult to find real stuff at this point, and to believe anything is actually real. You know, I guess I get that from like the Jack Dohertys and these people, that every situation that they're in, it's all set up. You know, was the fight with Jake Paul set up? Was it all that stuff? It looks all like people playing into each other, making money off things that way. And it's just not for me. But I do recognize now why nobody on the internet, you're not going to get, for instance, this is why I started calling Nathan Oakley a scammer 3.5 or 4 years ago, is I saw them, once they made a statement, so they make a statement on their channel, that is it. It can never be wrong. That's a scammer. Do you understand? If somebody's so, that because they're flat earth debate, well, what Nathan realizes is that if he started to admit that he was wrong, that he would lose his audience. Because people go to him because he knows what he's talking about. Look at, he debates everybody every week. So if he starts saying, hey, you know what, I was wrong, guys. When I said that we measure the earth flat, I didn't realize that they're actually using a tangent. So that's not really measuring the earth flat, because we can measure a tangent from anything. You could take the top of this eraser and you could measure an angle from it with a tangent line. Doesn't mean shit. Doesn't mean that the eraser's flat or spherical or anything. It just means that we're looking at an angle from something from it. So it's so simple, but yet Nathan Oakley will never, ever, ever say that we measure off a tangent which is completely suitable for any location that you're at. Even though I'll say to them and say, hey, if the earth was flat or if it was a sphere, what would change in my front yard? And they will say, oh, nothing. Okay, so if I go out there and I can measure the angle to Polaris right now, what difference does it make if the earth's flat or a sphere? Still the same angle to the damn star. So we don't measure earth flat, we're measuring an angle to a star. Dipshits. But you know, they don't get it. They don't get it at all, and it's pretty upsetting because I don't know how to get it through to them. I thought I had an Oakley. What do we got this one?
Here comes Nathan Oakley off the bench, completely ineffective without that mute button.
Right, true. Good point. The NBA Jam guy. Jaron, what are you doing now is just as important as solving a mystery. Good on you, man. Thank you. What is that? Ozempic? Osmo sick. I don't know. I'll just read a couple chats and then I'm going to head out. What do we got here? Oh, Meg's in the house. Whale Panties, good day to you. Nathan Oakley still hasn't convinced his wife that the earth is flat, by the way. How do you know that? He said that? I can't believe that. Keep going, man. I think you have a new, unique perspective that others can see. Thank you. I should read from over here. Oh, Max, I didn't see you. I thought we were closed for the day. What's up, Max?
Hello.
How are you?
How you doing? I'm doing awesome.
Doing great myself. Thank you.
I don't have a claim, so you won't. I won't keep you long.
It's okay.
I
prefer
wanted to tell you that I had never heard from anyone else the idea of the sun going right to left or left to right.
I thank you for saying that.
Yes, I'd never heard that from anyone before. But
yeah,
this March the 20th during the equinox, we are planning with Icy Spin to do a stream, him from Florida, me from down here in Uruguay.
Oh, that's awesome.
And both streaming, because it's the only time that we actually get the sunset at the same time.
Right.
So we're going to film it and see how it goes different ways. One
right,
goes like that.
Which is a paradox. I mean, I even feel for the people that were originally finding out the shape of the earth, because they must have started to see that and been so confused. And then somebody probably is like, well, what if you put us on a sphere? And they're like, yeah, right. We don't live on a sphere, you idiot. And then they're like, yeah, but just try it and see what. And then they did it, and they're like, holy shit, that is what you would see on a sphere. And from there, I think it became probably easy to convince people with that idea, that understanding, because you know. And the hardest thing to get across to flat earthers is just they want to keep saying it's perspective. They don't understand that no, if you're watching the sun set or the moon set, then you're looking west. So you got rid of the perspective issue now, because you're both looking in the same direction that the item is going. You can't see it go in two different directions. What's even crazier is that when you're watching a sunrise or a moonrise, is one's coming from the north, it's coming from the left, from the south, it's coming from the right. So like that's looks like completely different items. But again, we were down there, we tested that. McKeegan had a great plan for testing whether or not it was a reflection in any way, or and it's not. It is the same item, and therefore there is only one shape that you can put us on that would give you the prediction of the observations that we had, which is a sphere. So that's why, and that's the saddest thing for me is like before, yeah, I thought the Earth was flat, but did I know? No, not really. So you always had that question in your mind. But now I don't have any questions. So the sad thing is to see all the flat earthers, right? To see how they're acting, to see how they think how right they are, and how I had to tell a girl yesterday, this Christian I talked to, I told her, I said, hey, I just want you to pretend for 1 second. I said, just pretend, because they were saying something about Will. Oh, well, Will wasn't real nice to people, and Will wasn't this and that. Like, listen, just pretend for a second that what we're saying is true, that we did go on the trip, that we did see the 24-hour sun, that the Earth is a globe. Now look at what the reactions have been for people. Do you see a different? Do you see that that's not cool? What's gone on is not cool. Like, I get it that you think that you're right, that you think the Earth's flat. So you think that the way you've been acting is okay. But you have to think to yourself, what if I'm wrong? Like, what if I'm wrong?
The vitriol Will got. I mean, it is commendable how he kept his cool. He didn't insult
the guy is the guy's a great guy. And let me just give I didn't tell anybody this, but I want to tell a story about Will that just kind of shows what kind of guy he is. So he had called me a while back and said, hey, his daughter was having a birthday or had a birthday, and she was a big Steph Curry fan, and he wanted to go to a Warriors game, and he said, could I get Warriors tickets? So I'm like, yeah, let me look around. My dad knows somebody who has season tickets, and they're expensive and this and that. So anyway, ends up that I talked to my dad. My dad's like, oh yeah, so he gets him tickets, front row of the upper deck, nice tickets. I give him and he's like, oh great, I'm going to go there, fantastic. So I then tell him like 2 weeks later, by the way, we have 2 tickets too. My dad and I are going to go. So he's like, oh, we'll get to see each other. This is, I don't remember what month. This is in November, I think. So it was like the first time I'd seen him since TFE. So the other thing is on that day, they were giving away Steph Curry bobbleheads. Okay. Now, my dad's a big fan of the Warriors and has a bunch of, collects baseball cards and stuff. So he was excited to get one of these. They only give them away to the first 10,000 fans. But when we got to the train station, my dad was a little bit late, and then we jumped on this train we thought was ready to leave. We sat in our seats. We're like, oh, finally. And we're talking a little bit. And then we look up at the clock and we're like, it's like 4 minutes past. And those trains here in California, they don't miss the time because they have to be at the next stop. So they are moving. So we're like, how could it be 4 minutes late that and then we look around and then they're like, oh, next stop, Stockton. And we're like, oh shit, we're on the wrong train. So we get off the train. We find out we missed the first train. Now there's another one coming in like 35 minutes. But anyway, we end up getting to the event way late and not able to get the bobblehead. So my dad's already pissed because he's like, I want to get that bobblehead. Sorry about that. So then because we didn't get to see Will before the game. So after the game or during the game, I went and talked to him, met his daughter. And then after the game, I'll say, hey, I'll meet you down there by the Christmas tree and you can meet my dad. So he meets my dad. He's talking about, and he's like, hey, where's your bobblehead? My dad's like, we didn't get here in time. And Will just reached out and handed my dad a bobblehead. And because he got there in time. And I was just like, and my dad was so freaking happy about this bobblehead. He was like, now my dad is he's getting a little up there in age. So I told Will the next day, what was funny is that we're then walking back to his hotel room, Will's, with his daughter. We're talking, we're having a conversation. My dad's just walking with us. We're all talking. We're probably walking together for like 10 minutes. And we're talking about I don't know if you haven't been to San Francisco. Now everywhere in San Francisco is these Waymo cars that have no drivers.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're taxiing everybody around. They're driving all over the place. They're everywhere. There's you can't walk down a San Francisco street without seeing 6 of them. So we're talking about the cars and all this stuff. So then he gets to his hotel. All right, we're right here. All right, hey, thanks, man. Nice. Thanks for the tickets. All right, thanks for the bobblehead. All right, later. So now my dad and I are crossing the street. My dad pulls one of these. So who is that guy? I'm like, what? That's Will. That's the pastor. That's the guy who took me to Antarctica, dude. I was like, he's the one you got the tickets for. He's like, oh, I didn't even know that. I'm like, where were you for who do you think we're meeting here, dude? My dad, he's like, fuck. But I had to call Will. I'm like, Will, I just have to tell you what my dad said yesterday after we left you. He pulled so who was that guy? So I was like, sorry if my dad didn't seem like totally connected with you, but he didn't know who the hell you were, I guess. And so it was just funny. I even called my sister. I'm like, my dad's losing it, Cal. He didn't even know what he was. She's like, no, he just wasn't listening to you when you were talking about that earlier in the day. I'm like, that's probably the case. He just doesn't listen. But anyway,
I feel you. I'm going with the same thing with my mom.
Oh man, it's kind of scary. But Will's just to do that, to be like, just reaches out, hands my dad the bobblehead. Just everything he did about the trip. I'd say that's my biggest problem too. With I don't think Witz ever said thank you, even.
Right.
Which is just it's a $35,000 trip. That's insane. I've never gotten a $500 donation, let alone 35,000. So anyway, I did see him do, and I noticed myself, because I used to look at Will and be like, man, Will is kind of nasty to these people. But it took him 6 months until he was just a little bit nasty. It took me 2 weeks. It took me 2 weeks to become an asshole. It took me 2 weeks to be like, F Flurfs, Dirtball of the Week. I'm making videos, I'm making songs, because I just couldn't stand it. So I mean, yeah, he's got like a heart of a pastor, if you will.
He's like a genuinely nice person.
Yeah, and then to meet his daughter, was like,
I have some problem with some of his opinions, but
right, yeah, and
we'll
again,
leave that for another day.
But he's open to looking into it, right? He's open to digging into those, and I just thought, met his daughter, and you can tell when somebody's children are well behaved and respectful. You just know their parents. There's just no way a parent's going to be a disrespectful jerk, and the kid's going to come out like well behaved and respectful. So just to meet his daughter and see who he is as a father too, you're just like, oh man, this guy's nailing it on all cylinders. So yeah, just see people treat him like he has just been upsetting. But they've treated everybody that way, and so did I. So I realized too, I used to think everybody on your side was lying. You're just all liars. And so when you realize, you go down there, you see you're wrong about the sun, you start looking into what Toon and these guys are doing, and you just realize they're out there doing real science, making real observations with notebooks and notepads and predictions, and then you look at the flat side and you're like, we didn't do that. We didn't have that. I had a sheet of what I expected and what I saw, and that was it. So even the other day I was interviewed with Dr. Blitz, and he was like, so what experiments did you do when you're down there? I'm like, well, I took the magnifying glass and burned a piece of paper. So I mean,
which in turn created a whole bunch of problems because you didn't have the paper anymore again.
Right, and it wasn't that your ticket. Your ticket said the 10th. How could it be the 10th? Or it's just everything. So anyway, it's just once you see that, you're like, so then you start realizing who the liars were, and it's the people that were on the flat earth side, saying, and then you have such a captive audience with flat earthers that are gonna. And I knew this. I remember telling Dave Weiss this probably 4 years ago. I'm like, Dave, do you realize I could say anything on my channel and people would believe it? I said I could literally say anything. I made this experiment, I did this test, and people would believe me. Like, that's kind of scary, because once I realized that was possible, I'm like, who else is anybody else doing that? And reasons that I know that they were is like, how could it be possible that I'm still the only flat earther that ever filmed the sun or moon transit of the ISS?
Oh yeah, that was cool.
Right. So you can tell that those people are not in it for the truth. They were in it. So if they go out and film that, they're just not going to show it. Like, oops, just not going to show that. Whereas me, I said, oops, we saw it. I got to go show it. So that's the difference, is that I was looking for the truth. It wasn't a matter of just, I'm only going to post things that are pro flat earth. It was, I'm going to make observations and I'm going to get to the bottom of it. And it took me 10 years, which is way too long, but I don't feel bad about that. I'm like, same thing my wife said when I left for Antarctica. She goes, the great thing is when you get back, we're going to know. Or we haven't known for 10 years, and we'll know one way or the other. Either you're going to go down there and the sun's going to set and the world's going to change, or you're going to go down there and the sun's going to circle and you're going to realize that you were way off base, and we'll have to recover from that. So anyway, but I do appreciate you for being a nice guy.
I'll let you get to the end of the show, but I'm it's only 2 months until the equinox, but yeah, IC Spin are already
that is awesome.
It when and we're going to use.
You're not on the same. You're not on the same longitude, though, are you?
No, we're very close.
Was it close? Okay.
Very close. Yeah.
Yeah, because that's what I was looking at that, and there's not a lot of places that share north and south longitudes.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's kind of
down from Uruguay until Chile, it's only one time zone. So it's a huge swath of land there, but we'll give it our best, and at the very least, if we can clearly show that the sun is going at the same time different ways,
right?
I would call that a success.
I think that's a success too.
I'm excited. Yeah,
and I'm excited about our observations, north and south at 53, because I think and even this guy Josh has basically said, if that's what we see, then I think I'm going to have to change my position. I told him, I said, well, I'm telling you already, that's what you're going to see. So I said, we're really wasting time by doing this trip, but I get why it's going to be helpful to you. And I know he's got a podcast. He speaks to Christians. And I think that if we can show that, because it's what has got him to go, oh, that would make a difference. That would tell me how.
Josh Monday.
Yeah, Josh Monday. Have you talked to him?
Yeah, I know him.
Okay. Yeah, we're going to go to Edmonton. And already Robbie's going to cook dinner for us one night. So we're going to go see Robbie Davidson. But anyway, we're going to go up there because he lives in Edmonton. And that's 53 degrees north. So then we're going to do that on June 21st and then go down December 21st to Punta Arenas and be able to show.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, we're going to do both trips this year. So just a couple days in each one. We're going the 19th through the 22nd to Edmonton, and then December, I can't remember now, 20th through 23rd.
It's like, for me, it's like $700 to go to Punta Arenas. I might join you.
You should do that. I mean, go down, because we were shocked at the prices. I just got my flight today to Edmonton for like $362, which is great round trip from here to Edmonton, and the place that we're going to stay is even cheaper than that. So I'm happy about that. And then I was looking at Punta Arenas. I think it'll be less than $1,000 for me to fly down there. So that's significantly cheaper than I had thought. And then we're going to stay in that same hotel that we stayed in because it's just perfect location right there next to the water and to see everything we saw there. So anyway, and then we want to measure the degrees of longitude because, again, on the flat Earth, it has to be 4 times bigger than what the globe says at 53 degrees south. So we can measure that. We don't have to measure a full degree because we can measure, say, 1/10 of a degree.
And
right.
then do the rest of the math. Yes.
Right, exactly. So we'll do that.
Awesome.
So that's going to be fun.
We'll keep in touch about that. That sounds fun as hell.
Yeah, I would love to have as many people as we can see down there. I would love to see you down there. It'd be awesome.
Yeah,
We'll
great. All right.
All right. Thanks,
I'll
Max.
let you take care of the end of the show. Have
Thank you.
fun. Bye-bye.
Later. Max, everybody, check him out. He is at the Yerba Buena Talks. All the Daves, no Jaren. Yes, thank you. Yay, road trip. Anybody else want to go? Let's go. We're going to go. You can go with us. We're going to Edmonton. Not too expensive if you get your flights now. But it's not going to be a major, undertaking. It wasn't something I didn't want to gear, all my gear and everything. No. Having a 360 camera will be nice. Filming the time lapse of a sunset. We're going to make sure we're there for 2 days. It should be nice weather because we're going in the height of summer both places. So we really shouldn't have any chances of having terrible weather. So we just want to get that that observation because it is symmetrical. And if in the north, the sun does something on June 21st and then it does the opposite but same angle in the south on December 21st, that's just not possible any other way unless you're on a symmetrical planet. Planete. Didn't Toon do that? Toon did a measuring of the degrees of longitude at Punta Arenas and then at Union Glacier. But we want to do at 53 degrees north and 53 degrees south. Because if they're the same, flat Earth is done. I mean, the flat Earth cannot exist unless either the north or the south are longer than the other. Right? Think of any flat world. You could put the south at the center, and then the south would be smaller and the north would be larger than what the globe says. But if we go there and we measure at 53 degrees north and a mile is a mile, or, and we measure at 53 degrees south and a mile is a mile, and then we measure 1/10 of a degree and it matches the 53 degrees south or its opposite, then it's all over. So, and again, people the only thing they could say is, oh, well, all the land distances are correct, but they then make up for it in the ocean. Again, that's preposterous. It means everywhere south of 53 degrees is a minimum. And I say minimum now because if you're going to make the land correct, then that means the water has to be, you're going to put all the mistakes into that. So now you're talking about more than 4 times the distance. I mean, that would be found out in no time. Somebody would get in a plane to fly to the Falkland Islands and be like, oh, it's 800 miles. We got enough gas, but it's actually 4 times that distance. So it would be 3,200 miles. People would die. You find out pretty damn quick. All right, we got one more person. Let's go with my mom bakes cakes. Tell your mom thank you for baking those cakes. We do appreciate it. Sorry? What? I think you're using a voice changer or something. Can you not be so pathetic, please? Or I'm going to dump you. All right, we're going to dump you. Don't know why your stuff's not working. What did I say? Yerba mate? Did I say yerba buena? I might have said that. It's yerba mate talks. Sorry. I'm not going to say that either. We'll try one more time. My mom bakes cakes. Do you have a voice that is realistic? Okay. I don't know if you're using a voice. No, that's all right, we've had enough of that. He's a Glober. Who is this? My mom bakes cakes. Why is he talking like a chipmunk? Ah.
Is that any better?
Hey, now we got you.
Sorry about that.
That's
My
all right.
audio goes like that sometimes.
I don't know. It was like a high pitched, chipmunk sound.
That's fine. You were saying about the Antarctica trip that you went on.
Mm-hmm.
Now, my brother went there in 97, I think it was. And before you guys went, many of the flat earthers said nobody could actually go to Antarctica.
Right.
But you all three of you, four of you went there. And so that position was null and void, correct?
Right, but that's why they say the trip was fake, because it allows them to continue believing that. Now, what they do, though, is they don't care about who they run over in the process, right? So their belief is more important than anything that they could do to me, death threats, you name it. Same thing to Witsit, everybody. It's easier to call us names, say the trip was fake, than for them to admit that they were wrong.
Well, this is the thing. I mean, I'm just so glad that your videos when you interviewed the flat earthers who no longer became flat earthers, those first few that you did, with those Metrodome or what his name is, so forth, they were excellent because
thank you.
Many of the flat earthers said, once you go flat, you can't go back, which is
they still
you came back,
right? They still say it, and you're right. That I thought that those were great interviews, and they also revealed some things about each one of us, maybe possibly having some sort of traumatic event or something right before that. And but the problem was that I had no more people came forward, so I had to stop the show because there was no more people that were. So there was like a wave of people who stepped out, say 10, 15 people. But then I got a bunch of emails from people saying, "Hey, I don't make comments. I'm not in the chat, but I'm just letting you know I was a flat earther. I'm no longer a flat earther." I would usually respond with, "Hey, do you want to come on the show?" And they would all say no. So I get it.
Well, the thing I find really hard and difficult to comprehend is, how can Australians be flat earthers? And here we've got Iron Horse.
Yep.
We've got
Angels of Shite.
Angels of Shite.
Flatzoid, Facatzoid. Wankzoid, whatever you want to call him.
Yeah, Wankzoid. I did for that top left video for him the other day.
Oh, Iru Landucci. He was with Glowbusters. I don't, he hasn't talked to me since all this happened either. So they've just chosen to. I mean, it's insane. I don't know how I don't think flat Earth would have ever taken off if the percentages of humanity was the other way around.
Yeah,
I don't think there's any way.
And we're still waiting, Jaron, for any kind of evidence for the flat Earth for like last 10, 11 years.
I know. Well, again, you have to be careful there because there is evidence the Earth is flat. Like we measure the Earth flat. Talking about below our feet, the water lies level. So that could be considered evidence. But the problem with that is that if it's very localized, it's your own little bubble, as if there's no other world outside of that, right? Like if I measure right below my feet, it's flat, and the water right here is flat. And if I look over there, I see too far. It's like, okay, but have you looked at the reasons why those things are the case, right? I mean, again, if you're talking about geometry for how far we see, we don't live in a piece of paper where we draw lines and everything works out geometrically perfectly because we have an atmosphere. So,
absolutely. And your view when you did your explanations on how to explain the sun when you were down there, when you did the drawings and everything, they were so well done for the flat Earth community, really breaking it down into bit by bit, saying this is how the sun works down here, this is how the sun works over here. Because I live down south in Australia. I see the sun go from left to right or whatever it is. I see the sunset live near the beach.
Right.
How does that work on a flat Earth? Nobody can explain that.
No, never will be able to. Yeah, because it's got to be weird. I mean, if you're looking at a sunrise and you're watching the sun come from your right, to realize that the people in the north are watching that same sun come from their left, it's weird. Except for there's one shape that says that's exactly what will happen. And that's a sphere.
And the thing is, like, when the sun rises, say in Sydney, right? It's just about to rise. It's still pitch black in Perth.
Mm-hmm. Right.
How does that work?
Yeah, and there's even crazier ones that when I started to look really into that model, and I realized that there is places especially in the north or the south, but there's places that get, like, even though the sun rises in the east, sets in the west, there's places that are east of places that get the sun first. For instance, like Chicago gets a sunrise before places in Florida. in the height of June, right? Which is just weird because you're like, wait, that doesn't seem to work out. But it's because of the nature of the globe and the way that in the height of the northern summer, that sun's coming around the north end and rises northeast, and so it's so high up on the globe that Chicago gets hit before Florida. So I mean, these things are it's so sad that I figured all this stuff out after. The other thing I keep getting from people is people are like, oh, Jaren's definitely a shill because now he knows all the globe points when he didn't know them before. I'm like, no, I was listening for 10 years. I don't know what you guys were doing. I was listening. I was learning along the way. I realized my stupidity and then I would correct it, but I would understand the globe position. It's just, it still came down to, like I said, if we went down there and saw the sunset, then I would have been vindicated. It would have been, okay, look, it doesn't work as the globe. It does, but we saw the confirmation of the globe. So that's when you realize that all your other wanderings and meanderings were incorrect.
And they also go off against people like Professor Phil Bell, who's actually, done things like send rockets to space, because you're doing the looking into the moon landings, what you did with McKeegan, and they were excellent because you finally began to piece it together, because there's so much evidence out there for the actual thing taking shape, the actual landings, the actual building of the ISS, or the previous MER missions. We've had a crash landing of one of the satellites here in Australia,
right? Yeah, it's just I guess what I learned too is how easy it is to not believe in something that you don't want to believe in because you can make it into a conspiracy, right? So if I don't want to believe that my birthday is January 4th, I could easily tell people like, oh, well, the hospital made it look like my birthday was, they all signed the papers on that day and my parents went along with it. So I'm just creating a conspiracy there for just so that I can hold on to whatever I want to be true. So if I don't want to be born on that day, I can create a conspiracy that says I wasn't. So it's just, if people want to find something that says the government can lie to us on a large scale, which is what people use the moon landing for because we haven't gone back. But again, it's the same thing. They say we haven't gone back. I'm like, okay, that's not evidence. If I went to Mexico 50 years ago and I haven't been back, does that mean I didn't go to Mexico 50 years ago? No. It's just, you can bring it up if you want, but it's not evidence. They use it as if it's proof, right? Oh, no, we haven't gone back, so therefore we didn't go. Well, that's ridiculous.
Well, I do have one apology for you, Jeranism, because I did used to call you Jism because it was based on cool hard logics.
No,
So,
Red's Rhetoric.
My apologies.
I think it's Red's Rhetoric who used that one. That's okay.
Oh, Red Rhetoric.
I didn't mind the nickname terribly, but I got it. I mean, it's the same thing with everybody. We all call each other names, but no, everybody's been great. That's another thing I said, that the globe could have been, and there's been some in the comments and things like that, and people saying they still think I'm grifting or whatever. But for the most part, that's been very helpful, is to not have to hear shit from Professor Dave, rather to have him reach out and say, hey, you want to do a show? Same thing with McKeegan, to be like, he wanted to talk about the moon. So those guys could have been dicks about it, and they weren't. So,
but you get to go completely reverse when you're talking to, well, even if you have, I would have talked to Dearth.
I would like to. I don't know why. Guy, does he know we're back yet? Somebody tell him that we came back from Antarctica, please. I don't know if he knows.
And where's Richard these days? He's gone missing.
He is not around. He's got personal life things too. So,
yeah.
And again, that might be another thing where, I think he did kind of sit back and watch what happened to me and realized that didn't seem very advantageous. And then also, if you burned a bunch of bridges, if I spent the last 5 years calling everybody names on the globe side, I do not think they would have been as welcoming to me as they were. So, you have to kind of look at that too, that at least I knew that, hey, we're all humans, and there's certain things that people did along the lines. The way that Toon kind of reached out about a year before TFE and started to talk to me about some stuff. I don't know if people remember, I did a show from when I was down south, and we did 2 shows. And then FTFE admitted that he made a mistake, which was so shocking to me, because he was one of these people saying that to go around the globe on a line of latitude is not turning, it's straight. And I was like, no, the equator is straight, but everything else you'd have to turn. And I thought he would never. And then one day he made a video where he's like, "Oh, Jaren was right." And I was like so shocked, because I just didn't think that globers were that way before. I was like, I've never even seen a glober say they were wrong about anything. And then to kind of, and the reason why is because most of the things that they're saying are based off of evidence and science. So you're not going to be wrong about a lot of things. And then to see other people reach out to him, like MC Toon, I showed him, hey, isn't this correct that if you're at 45 degrees latitude and you have to go around the pole, then you have to turn ever so slightly. But I'm like, and he's like, yeah, that's right. And I'm like, well, you have FTFE over here saying that it's a straight line. It's not a turn. So he's like, oh, I'll talk to him. So it's like they're willing to talk to each other and come to a conclusion and then reshape what they say. And that's really what we should all be like, right? If we say something wrong, then somebody correct us, go look at it. If you're wrong, then you just say, I was wrong. And that's so all those little things were very helpful from people.
We're not all the smartest people, the tools in the shed, but we try our best to accommodate people like yourself and others to say this is the globe.
Right.
We've been living on it for forever, even before NASA was created.
Right.
So it's.
Well, I was telling somebody, it's like, yeah, somebody was talking about the Operation Fishbowl, and I was like thinking, dude, I used to believe that they were launching nukes in the sky to break the dome, and I'm like, even the thought of that now is like, wait, they were going to kill everybody. Like they thought that there was water separating the water, so then they were going to break the dome and then kill everyone. No, they weren't doing that. So it's like even the things that like you believe as a flat earther, just because they go along with your story, are just realistically insanity. It's just not what they would do.
And what about the constant? We don't feel emotion. Because we're traveling at 1,000 miles per hour, or whatever it is.
Yeah, no, that's another thing. That it just was. You get locked into this idea, and I would hear them always say, "But it's 1 RPM." And I would say, oh, you're just trying to change it from the miles per hour. But there's a reason why they're trying to change it from the miles per hour. It's because we're on a local scale, or we're thinking a car going 1,000 miles per hour is going to get destroyed by the atmosphere. So you kind of realize that, yeah, once you have somebody explain to you, like Jaron, just take an item in your hand and turn it once a day. And then you realize like, oh shit, I don't even see it moving. I mean, if somebody said, here, turn this globe.
That's across the entire globe circumference.
Right.
It's a big place.
It's huge. And that's why I tell people too, like think about the flying from New York to San Francisco takes 5.5 hours going 550 miles per hour. And just think of how little of the globe that is. It's a tiny little section of the globe, the United States, and yet it takes 5.5 hours at 550 miles per hour to travel that distance. So it just tells you how big the Earth actually is. But yeah, you take a globe like this and say, now spin it once a day. This is how fast it would be moving. That's it. So, then you have people say, oh, will the water be flung out? We'd be flung out into space. You're like, no, but look at it. Did those people on that Earth, would they be flung out into space? No. They wouldn't even know it's moving. And then the water would be completely still. Everything, what we see is exactly what you expect.
Point at Australia and you're saying we're upside down, that's all.
Right. See, I don't even like to say that anymore because now I'd rather turn the globe the other way. I'm down under. You're up top there. So.
Exactly.
All right. Well, I appreciate the call.
Thank you.
Have a good one. Thanks for calling. All right, guys, we are going to head out. If there's any more questions here, I'll interrupt. Those videos with Dave McKeegan were brilliant. Brought more evidence for moon landings than I knew existed. Yeah, me too. I was shocked. And then, I didn't tell people, but I spent like a whole day. If you want to have fun, go to, it's called the Apollo Surface. I always get it wrong. Apollo Surface. Maybe it's called Apollo Image Record. Whatever it is, it's on Flickr. Just search Flickr Apollo. You'll find it. It's 16,000 photos. Is this open? Let me just see if I can show you on here. If I can do it, I'll do it real quick just to show you that there's and then once you go through that and you see that there's no, it's going to work from there. Hold on a second. Let me see. So if you go Flickr FLCKR, or is it ICKR? FLICKR. Should be able to see. Yeah, it's called Project Apollo Archive. Let me see if we can show this over here. And yeah, you're at the right spot when you get here and it says 15,836 photos. And then you've got, usually go to albums and it separates it by the mission. So now you can see, here's your Apollo 8 magazine. And then these are in order, meaning they're in the order that they were taken. So you should be able to actually, if you go to like Apollo 16, 17, let me get down there. Apollo 16-ish. Let's see when they do a surface thing, maybe like in here. Yes, like these are good. So here's 162 photos in a row. And I was just going through these in pains, like looking at rocks and watching, like, is this craft moving? Is it driving forward? And you just realize the impossibility of faking this. And then you realize that if you go match this with the text version or the audio transcripts, that anytime somebody is taking a picture, you can, like, the other person's in the picture taking the picture. So there's never a moment where like somebody took a picture, but I can find a picture showing that the two guys are not taking a picture. There's nothing like that. Every time it syncs out. So, and then, I used to say that these mountains don't change size. Well, if you go to the beginning and the end and you look at them, they do. They're slight, but it's because those locations are farther away than you think. But in going through this and finding that I couldn't find any incongruencies, I couldn't find any kind of, if it was fake, you'd have to have some things that didn't match. You'd have to have something, and you just couldn't. And then anytime like people would say they're converging shadows. Now that I know why that happens is because of undulation in the ground, because I was there in Antarctica and saw it happen for myself, where people said, "Oh, these shadows are not matched." It's like, yeah, because there's a hill there. You don't see it because it's on a video. It's on a 2D representation of the real world. But when you're there and you see there's a little undulation, that's what causes shadows to either converge or diverge depending on the shape of the ground. But anyway, this is kind of a boring section here. But just going through and, people used to say these were dummies, and you can kind of go through and just really check. I spend a day like I did, just going through and saying, this rock here is this rock here. So then this rock here is this rock here, but these two rocks back here are these two rocks. So you can see that they're changing sides, that you're moving towards things, away from things, in order. And so I just really got to the point where, and then you go back to albums list. So, when they're traveling, so you can go to Apollo 11. Go to Apollo 11 and find one of the magazines. See when they're in the craft. Oh, this kind of looks cool. So we want them to be on the way there. So it'd be like this one, I guess. Yeah. So this is them on the way there. Here they are at the Earth, and just everything works in order. So like, think about faking this. It like becomes an impossibility to even imagine that. That's what's so embarrassing now, is realizing like, not only was I wrong, but it's like almost impossible to do what I I keep saying this, and nobody's found the clip yet. Thank God. If they do ever find it, I'm going to be hearing it nonstop. But at some point, and I never said this about flat Earth, but I certainly said it about the moon landing. At some point, I said, I bet my life we've never been to the moon. And that is not a good thing to do, because now I realize that is probably wrong. So I will not be betting my life on anything anymore. Let's put it that way. So again, what is that? A piece of lint? But you can, people's comments are great to look at. Just that's another thing you look at. It's like which pictures. What happened? Oh, you can look at pictures that have. See, you can look right here. See how this one has 12 comments. You can just tell by the ones that have the most comments that there's something about them that people find captivating or interesting. But again, to think that this is, remember, we were told by Bart Cybrell, oh, they're faking it out the window with a transparency, and it's like, no, this has the markings of the Earth. So it's not just, right, like this is North America, this is South America. So it kind of gets like, it's not a transparency out any window. It looks like they have the camera up against the window. Now, again, could it be a ball, like a model? Again, now you have to get into the point where you have to remember that they're doing all this in real time. So if they're faking it, they're taking these pictures in real time because they match the transcripts and what they're talking about in the transcripts, which are audio. So let's put it this way. If it is faked, it is the greatest achievement in human history. If it is real, it is the greatest achievement in human history. So it doesn't really matter whether it's fake or not. Either one, I'm giving all the credit to them for being the greatest thing that humans have ever done. If they faked it, it's the greatest thing that humans have ever done. It's impossible to imagine they faked the moon landings. Just impossible. Just not possible. So people want to believe there's just no way to fake this. There's just no way to fake it. People want to say that I was talking to this guy who said, oh, well, I think that they were in an airplane going by. I'm like, well, then the ground would move. We saw the ground didn't move. He's like, oh, well, then maybe they were in a balloon. I'm like, how are they floating? Oh, well, maybe. So I'm like, see, the problem is that this is the same thing with the recreating what happened on the moon with them throwing things. On the moon, you can calculate the speed at which things fall. The problem with that is they can't fake both being in a vacuum and fake gravity at the same time. It's not possible. Nobody can figure out how to do that. Go ahead and explain to me how you could fake in a warehouse astronauts floating in a vacuum. You can't. You just can't do that. So the fact that they have both, that things respond to 1/6 gravity and at the same time operate as a vacuum would, it's just, and they had to do that in real time. It's not like they had time to go make a movie. Or they didn't make a movie. These people had to do it in real time. There was people sitting at NASA listening to them in real time. Somebody could ask them something and they'll answer something. It's real time. It's not like a movie. So I just think people really want it to be fake. They love the idea that the world can be explained so easily with just these evil villains at the top that fake everything. The Freemasons, they fake everything. They lie to us. Just makes it very easy to believe that you could be lied to on such a mass level. But really, when you go through these pictures, that's why I know that I no longer call flat earthers truthers. In fact, I don't call any truthers truthers. They're not truthers. They're the opposite of that. They do not want to find the truth, so they will do whatever they can to keep their narrative going, and they don't care about the truth. Absolutely zero. Because if they cared about the truth, what I've said about the sun and moon is obvious as I'll get out. Obvious as it gets. Let me see if I go here real quick. I'll show you this. I don't want anything funky coming up. Let me put it over here real quick. See if it's over here. I want to make sure that, what do we have? This is Edmonton, Amazing Sunset, Chicago Sunset. Yeah, so I was just gathering videos. I'll show you these of, come on, I can never find this again. Where was I just at? Browser solo? No. Where was I? Hold on. What side were we on? We were there. Okay, so if I go to any of these videos, so just going through these and watching the, I'm just going to bring it up for you. Watching all these moon sets and just being able to right away know where I'm at and the degrees that I'm at, is impressive. So you could just tell, oh, that's left to right, I'm in the north, and then you go here and you're like, okay, let's watch this one. And just everywhere you are, wherever it's moving, and even the angle of it, I can tell where we're at, So you just start to figure out, left to right, you're in the north. So you just can start to figure out that this is impossible, that the moon would be moving in this direction, okay, and going left to right, and then somebody watching this same moon set in the south is watching it go right to left. It's over. It doesn't make any sense otherwise. It doesn't have lips. Oh, sorry. Watching too much Wadcast. Here's a supermoon. It's going left to right. Again, also, we always talk about the sun not changing angular size. Neither does the moon. Well, it does change a little bit. It changes like a degree or two, or not a degree. It changes, percent or two because it does get closer and farther away from the Earth. But see, we got this one is Port Deandrix. I don't even know where that's at. Is that north or south? We're about to find out. It is. No. We don't listen to that music. So left to right, we're in the north again. So anyway, just having all those to be able to go, here's moonrise in LA. So it's going to be going left to right because we're in Los Angeles. There you go, left to right. So again, somebody watching this same moonrise from the south is watching it rise right to left. Again, impossible on anything but a sphere. What's this? The unseen sea? What's that mean? Oh, that's kind of pretty. I don't like that one as much. Let's go back here. We've got moonrise. Let's see what this is. Oh, hurry up. This one is, let's see, we're getting all north ones so far. Can we get a south one? I think it might be another north one. Yep, north, because it's moving left to right. Ever so slow. I love when they do this. The guy I was reading about this guy took this picture from like 2 miles away from this thing. Zoomed in, just, happened to know what date that's going to happen. Moonrise from South Michigan. Trying to see if this, oh man, that video is crazy right there. This video shows like, here's Australia. So now we're going to see it go the other way. This is Australia, so it has to go right to left. In fact, I showed Toon, and we didn't get to an answer on it either, but I showed Toon, I found one that I think that people were lying about where they're at because it's off. But we then saw that the camera is kind of panning to the right, so it could be just like a false, we think it's going, wait, what's that going here? Oh, I thought it was going the other way. When I was dragging it this way, it looked like it was going. So it's going right to left, if you kind of notice. It's going to be, see, there you go. So it's right to left, so we know we're in the south. So again, right to left, this is the most easy for anybody to figure out because you can do it without anything else. Just your eyes and then an understanding of, well, tell somebody, if you think the earth is flat, then simply go explain this phenomenon on a flat earth. And when they try, and then you say, here it is on the globe, look, this explains it. This predicts it. Then they have no other option but to go, oh, yeah, you're right. This is beautiful. This is sunrise to sunset in New Zealand. Watch how awesome this is. This is all you need to see. If you're in the south and you see this flatzoid and you don't realize what's going on, I don't know what to tell you. Let me turn this on. So we can see that the whole sky is turning that direction. See how it's all turning around a point which is above the South Pole star? Here it goes. Look, it's all turning. Okay. And as it turns, the sun is underneath here. Again, it's shining on the other half of the world at that time. And then it pops up moving right to left. How could this be the case? I want you to picture being in New Zealand. Again, I just want to tell you where this is at. Remember, the sun sets to the west for everybody. So it means you're in New Zealand and the sun's about to set in the west, going this way. What? Think about where does the sun need to go after New Zealand? Any ideas? Pretty sure it needs to go to Australia. And after that, pretty sure it needs to get to Africa. And I'm pretty sure that on any flat Earth map, this is the wrong direction. Pretty damn sure. But here it goes. It's setting right to left, which means we're in the south. And it's just going to be under here just a little bit. Just like we saw in Punta. So, I mean, if people really are truthers, then I struggle with, and again, it's hard for me to say that because I obviously for 10 years wasn't looking at things like this or understanding them, or even, again, it all comes down to thinking that you're right. When you think you're so right that you cannot be wrong, then it doesn't matter what you bring me. It doesn't matter what you tell me. You must be wrong and I must be right. So once you have that chink in your armor broke, you're like, oh shit, I was wrong about that. And then you realize how everything is built upon a foundation of the South has to be a lie. So if you go down to the South and it does exactly what the globe model calls for, you are done. That's the place where I just like, uh-oh. So this is a New Zealand moonrise. So we're going to see it go right to left. Here. Come on, go. It's a little slow. We'll move on. There you go. Going right to left as it climbs in the sky. And the only place that you would ever see it go up and down would be the equator. Or right around there. Hit the lights. This is Lake Wanaka, New Zealand. So it's going to be right to left again. So again, when this is what I mean by like making predictions. It feels so good to know that I can go to 53 degrees north and tell you what I'm going to see on June 21st, even though I haven't been there on June 21st, because I've been to 53 degrees south at December 21st. So now I know what I will see. So that's just a different beast. Whereas the flat Earth doesn't predict anything. You don't learn anything. You don't do anything. You don't go anywhere. You don't do nothing. I wanted to show you one other thing. This is just beautiful, and then we'll head out. This is just gorgeous. This is like a video this guy made of all these rain. You ever seen like rain off in the distance? How crazy that looks. This is just like a video of storms and things coming together, and then the absolute torrential downpour that comes out of these. For anybody who doesn't look at that, like anybody who thinks that rain doesn't come from clouds, watch this video. Look at this rain. Look at it just dumping. Just incredible. There's even better ones where you just see like huge torrential downpours, like just dumping in the ocean straight out of the cloud. Look at that up top. Absolutely gorgeous. And they have some rain ones that come up here in a second that are unfathomable. Look at that. Look at the rain dumping in the ocean right there. Just crazy. But people have a shock, clouds can't weigh so much. And well, no, watch this. I mean, it was all water that existed in the clouds until it got to a temperature that it couldn't hold it anymore. And then it became water, and then it fell. So beautiful. Who is this guy? David Attenborough. I've heard of him for some reason. Did he do an Antarctica documentary or something? I don't remember. Look at that. Look at it coming out of the cloud over there. Look at that. That's beautiful. Crazy. NASA can make clouds. That is true. Sorry, I didn't mean to be a chink in his armor. I'm married to an Asian, so I can actually get away with that. Although one guy asked me one time, like, "Is your wife Oriental?" I'm like, "No, she's not a rug. What the fuck are you talking about? I don't think people are Oriental. Maybe I'm wrong. What do I know? All right. That is it. I went way over to the show. It's not supposed to be this long. Tomorrow we're gonna do another TikTok stream, which shall be enjoyable, if you want to call it that. Just see if we can get through to any of those people to let them know that they are the Garbage Pail Kids. And let's listen to that on the way out of here, just because I like it so much. Guys, it's been fun. I remind you, please do your own research. When you do, you'll never again believe that you can't tell the shape of the ground. By looking at the lights in the sky, you actually can. It's called evidence, and it helps you get to the right answer, unless you dismiss it outright, in which case you're not going to get to the right answer. You're going to get to the wrong answer. And that's what Flat Earth has become. Nothing but the wrong answer. All right. No, some Flat Earthers don't think rain comes from clouds. They think it comes from the portals up above that God opens the windows and the screen. He hasn't fixed the screen in a while, and the screen's kind of ripping. There's a dog up there who's been scratching it. It's a whole story. I don't want to really get into it. All right, guys. I appreciate you being here. And we will see you tomorrow, 3 p.m. for TikTok garbage pail kids lesson. They are definitely a strange pair, strange group, strange club. And I'll take it upon myself to tell them that they are garbage humans. Love you guys. Thanks so much for all the super chats. Appreciate it. We'll talk to you soon. Love you. Bye.
They stink, they smell, and they cannot spell. The kings of the dumpster fire straight out of hell. Reality rejects don't care about truth. They are fearful of facts. They're allergic to proof. TikTok's worse. Kids with noses full of snot. Confidence is high, but their IQ's not. Short attention spans. They can't finish a thought. For clip-on and truthers, truth matters now. They don't want truth, or they wouldn't tell lies. Like you can't tell the ground from looking up in the sky. No map, no model, just vibes and memes. Move the sun or ignore it on the garbage pail team. Garbage pail, talking big, thinking small. Garbage pail, bouncing brains against the wall. Garbage pail, TikTok, look what you did. From mom's basement to our screens, it's the garbage pail kids. Garbage pail, think they can't be wrong. Garbage pail, heart this strong. Garbage pail, toddlers like angels are shite, and his big dirt daddy getting dirty all night. Garbage pail, thinks planes nose down. Garbage pail, say we don't spin around. Garbage pail, keep on lying to kids. Yes, this is the garbage pail kids. And they stink.
And there it is. The sun is just circling their head day after day after day. This is not good news for Flat Earth. Wait, they say it doesn't matter. They reject the falsification. It was fake too. Possibly a plasma laser ball. It doesn't matter anyway, but they faked it in an Amazon studio. Nothing burger. Water